Oh, do you want to do 3?
I watch English shows, UK shows.
Yeah.
Oh, top, like not our Mythbusters show, but another thing. They took them up in a. Is this flat Earth?
And anybody else that's joined me. Can I just have a audio check, please? I've got my mic in. It was not doing too well yesterday, but apparently, well, it seems to be working. Yeah, there really is not much internet here, so I've got myself a different internet connection, which is slightly better than the phone. I think it's just built-ins here. Hopefully, shouldn't be too bad. I'll figure something out and might get a better signal. So, just to let you know, we are in Dublin. This is day 12. It's really busy here. It's quite a lot of people. No wonder Harry came. This is where Harry came, by the way, and did a fantastic job. So hopefully we don't get as much drama. But so we're outside. We're outside some famous bars. There is a webcam here. I'm not sure where it is, but I've been online and I've seen a webcam of this place. So somewhere, one of these buildings has got a webcam. I'm not sure if you can find that. But yeah, we had a good... I did have my first Guinness in Belfast, and I will have to have one Guinness before I leave for Dublin. Absolutely beautiful. Yes, it's a must. It's tradition. You come to Ireland, you have to have a Guinness. If we have mic problems and that, scream out to Roxanne and she'll give me a quick call and hopefully I can rectify it.
Oh no, he's dopey.
Yeah, but maybe they're like using him because you're dopey, he's dopey.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? I mean, people and again, people will see that. People see that and they will say, is like, people see James May and they'll say, oh, well, he's in that suit.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Okay. Why is that?
Jason up his brief. Okay, cool. Check it out. All right, so good luck.
Why don't we have freaking we should have what? We should have tons of what? Tons of in suits. In tests, you don't ever see it. Why wasn't Neil Armstrong? Why didn't you have a test or Buzz Aldrin or any of the other guys? They were never ever there. So that's why I did the test.
Suits, you mean?
Yeah, the suits. Yeah. That's why I made the clue.
They don't test the suits.
You can't test them with the people in them. They just cannot be done. And
Create that vacuum.
yeah, the vacuum, and every vacuum guy that I've talked to has said the same thing.
And yet they claim they can use them.
Ugh.
But they never test them.
Again, well, I will say this, it's brilliant, which is they, you can look this up. This is not secret information. When you look up the early NASA suits that were tested in the mid-50s, they were all made out of heavy plastics and metal, and they were gigantic. They looked like bad movie robots. Looked like something out of Doctor Who. It's like just really, really clunky, and they realized it's like, yeah, that might be able to protect you from the vacuum. You're never going to be able to do anything with it. I mean, try climb a ladder with this thing, or getting it out of, and the ship you would have to use is really, really big. And so this is the only time I'm going to give NASA credit, is when somebody along the line says, you know what, nobody knows anything about physics. Let's just put them in a soft suit. No one will get it. They'll just run around, they'll play golf, they'll put together stuff, and no one will get it. No one will understand. And it worked. Absolutely worked. Nobody got the fact that those suits cannot bend, the elbows and the knees. And the freaking fingers, the fingers would be useless. And they put together complex electronics and put together the car. They couldn't do anything wrong. The fingers don't work. And in fact, you can go to YouTube right now. And there are wonderful tests where they literally just, small tests where you put your arm.
I was going to say,
you put your arm into a vacuum.
Vacuum chamber with the glove.
Yeah, with the glove.
You can't move it.
And you cannot move the glove. And it's like, okay, sorry. Not to get, and I'll repeat this later if anyone asks me questions. But my favorite test, and I came up with this year, which is, okay, if anyone gives you crap like why is our atmosphere here, right? And they'll say gravity. They'll say, why isn't the atmosphere gone? If it's the vacuum of space, if this world right here is real and it's covered by this wispy smoke, and this is the vacuum of space, why is that wispy smoke still there, right? And they'll say, well, it's gravity. I'm like, okay, fine. Let's say you have a second floor to this building right now. Say we're in a building, right? Second floor. There's a floor above us. You turn it into a vacuum chamber. Doesn't have to be very big. Put a cork in the ceiling. You pop the cork. What happens? Everybody knows what's going to happen. The air is going to equalize instantly, violently, and you may even die. And they say, so what? And I say, so why didn't gravity hold all the air down? And they say, well, and then that's when they stop. They absolutely stop. They have nowhere to go. And they say, well, because and I go, yeah, exactly. I go, what's the difference? I go, in fact, you're talking about a much, much bigger vacuum chamber. I mean, I had a guy say, well, it's this gradient, it's bleeding off really, really slowly. I'm going, no. Tell me about the test, and then tell me how, when it's a bigger test, it doesn't work. So,
When I met those people.
So as you can see, we've got Mark Sargent with us again today. For those who just joined me, we are in Dublin. This is day 12. Crowds are already starting, and yeah, it's going to be a good day today. Rain's going to left. Sorry for the late start as well. Nothing more than parking problems. It is a nightmare to park in Dublin with a camper van. There's a lot of parking for cars, but a camper van, you've got no chance. So we had to park miles away. So yeah, sorry but for the late start. This is going to be fun today. So that's our troops. We might have some of the people here today, but they're our troops there.
What is the science?
So far there's 6 of us on the street. There's meant to be 7 or 8 of us, so we'll see. It's like one of them. There you go.
He's the one who made us do a silent prayer. No God whatsoever.
Oh my
For the
God.
USA. Yeah. That's the kind of faith that is going on.
So this is called Temple Bar Square. I wasn't too sure about coming here, but it seems busy enough. Still early, and look at that. That's waiting for me. Look. That's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. I hope it will be open still.
I'm part of there. And I'm really curious which program you were in and what craft you went up in.
The secret space program. Right.
He's been to space.
Oh, yeah.
We got one more into
You
space.
follow Richard Hoagland. Yeah.
I've got space in my lounge.
Space. This man has been to space. So what craft did you go up in?
He can't tell you because it was the secret space program.
Oh, it was
Well,
a
not
secret.
not everything has a name. You know what I mean? Not everything has a name.
So you're not in the list of all the astronauts that ever went
I
to
mean,
space?
you're assuming that.
The secret space program.
Some people think they can, you can see the curvature from the plane, and yet pilots are saying that they cannot see the curvature from the plane.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, I'm just going to let Nora talk to him by himself at the moment because might get a bit strained. He's the guy in the black jacket. He's been to space. He's part of the secret space program. So I don't want to kind of put him on the spot. And I know you're all dying to know more, but it's a little bit silly, isn't it? Okay. Yeah.
Well, we studied of our intuitive surroundings. Very beautiful.
I know. Yeah, he might be a little bit. Oh God, I don't even know what the word is without being rude, horrible. But yeah, so I won't put them on the spot. So we're tied up here. So I don't care if it's going to get windy. It should be okay here. So we stayed at Brian's house last night, and he's been amazing. He's took care of all our needs, and looked after Mark as well. And so we've got a bit of a VIP guest, so he's been okay. He's looked after. I did ask him. He was welcome to sleep in the camper, but he had a proper bed indoors. So I still slept in the camper. You get used to your bed.
It's also been to Mars.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to get
It's
involved.
been to Mars.
Yeah. See, that's why I didn't want to get involved. He's been to Mars as well. I'm not getting involved in it. I don't know if you saw that. Ouch. Can you prove he hasn't? You're quite right. You can't. Yeah, you can't prove. I've been to the very edge of space, and no one can prove otherwise. I am also made of concrete. A bit of a slow start. I'm sure it'll get better, hopefully. You want to see all these tops, all these bottle tops all crushed and squashed into the ground.
So where's the car? Because I wanted to get my pad of paper. I think I left it in Brian's car. Oh, Brian? Yes? I want to get my pad of paper.
Elon Musk. Right. Is it just down here on to the right? Yeah. We came out of a... The reason why they said that was... Yeah, I don't know what's going to do. Where it is. Down there to the right.
If you go on to the main road down the bottom, then you went too far.
Yeah.
Just the first stop
I'm
on
gonna
the right.
save those kids in the cave with my little submarine.
Thank you, Tapper. Yeah, so we're on the ferry tonight, and we will be in Cardiff tomorrow. It's right in the city centre. I'll try and I'll be more specific later. But it's right outside a pub, and it's a fantastic spot. If you look at, I think maybe one of my older videos, or maybe John Smith Globe Live, I think he taped it as well. Cardiff was fantastic. You know, thoroughly enjoyed Cardiff. So yeah, want to do that again.
He bought Tesla. It's like Mark Cuban didn't start the Dallas Mavericks. thanks.
Would you like a leaflet? No, both get one too.
No, thanks.
Confident they know where they are. I do like to ask them individually. I'm always curious whether one can actually think for themselves or they just copy others, which happens a lot.
Oh, cool. Well, there you go. That would be awesome. Cool, man.
I'll have a chat with Mark in a minute while it's quiet. Some of these out.
Just check the fucking. Ah, fuck off.
Other countries are like, yeah, you know what? That seems to
Yeah, it looks like it might rain today. It's not looking good.
I mean, it's got his outside. I mean, I don't mind, for example, having this. It's nice having all these bigger chops. But yeah, I mean, we're not taking too much of it.
Quite start. Yeah, we had a quiet start yesterday. It's alright. We're both trying to find something to do.
Really?
Come across it before? Have you come across this before? No?
Good.
So challenging. What is it that you know about where you live? Do you think you live on a globe?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it seems obvious. Of course we do. Yeah. But I recently started looking into it and found out that I was struggling to find evidence. You know,
Well, they don't.
I believed it same as you 3 years ago. You know, it's just like a given. You know, it was taught to me at school. I believed it. I didn't ask any questions.
Yeah, the
So,
equalizer.
what do you think informs you that you do live on a globe?
I don't know about that, but if there were, well, no,
I'm
seriously,
not
there
able
were
to answer your question because
sometimes, you know,
my English is not very well. I'm not from Ireland. I'm
Yeah,
from
well, you're doing
Brazil.
well.
I don't have to, you don't have to.
I fully understood all that, so you're doing okay. So, I mean, do you understand that far? That.
Yeah.
So, why do you think it is that you know that you live on a globe?
I don't know how to answer that question.
No.
Sorry.
Tough to answer. Okay, not a problem. There's a website in there, and you'll be able to do a translation at FE Start, and there's some videos and that, and hopefully you'll understand it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
hopefully.
Where are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
Brazil. All right. Oh, well, there's. Oh God, you want to get a hold of? Damn. I forgot his name. Argentina. on the Globebusters. What's his name? Eru. Eru land. Right, so that guy there, Eru land. Check that into YouTube. He's from Argentina, and you might be able to understand him, you know. Okay? Yeah. Please do, check him out. Oh dear. Sorry, Eru. Damn, forgot your name. Yes. And, yeah, there will always be challenges with people with other languages, and that's fine as long as we can either send them to a website or a website, wherever. We can send them somewhere. Hopefully, it's still a seed, you know. Yeah, right there, buddy.
Oh, all right, yeah. How's things?
How's things?
Very well. Member of Dáil, thinking about going there today.
What's that?
Up to see Indokinney.
Oh, I don't know
Actually, he's the former Prime Minister.
Okay.
Or Michael D. Higgins, he's about this height, the bastard. He's small, you could put him in your shoe.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
He's an old wanker,
Okay.
you know.
I don't
And
know.
he's,
Sorry, I don't
he's
know who he is.
spitting out politics.
All right. Okay.
Politics.
Yeah.
He hasn't a clue what he's talking about.
Yeah. Do you know why we're here today? Have
Yes, praise Jesus.
you? No, nothing to do with Jesus.
I don't know why.
No. We're challenging people. I used to believe in the globe, that we lived on a globe. So we're challenging people what it is that we know about the globe. That's what we're asking. Because like myself, I believed in them pictures, them photographs. What's that?
This is what you know.
What's that?
Real life. Real life.
And we're on the streets with real life, real people.
Yeah. When Jesus went looking for disciples,
Yeah.
he didn't go looking for monks or priests. He went looking for ball boys.
Okay.
Guys that had suffered.
Right.
Guys that had been through hell.
Okay.
Hell.
Yes.
And back.
Right.
And he said, come to me. Come to me. That's what he said.
Right. Okay.
And I did.
Very good.
I mean,
Yeah, right there.
Oh, I wanted to tell you a story.
Go on then.
So the guy I was talking to in the leather jacket, who initially he was throwing me, he's like, he said he'd been to space, which is fine. It's like, okay, where, when NASA goes, no, a secret space program, and it just got worse and worse to the point where after you left, he had told me that he was actually going to be running for president in 2024, and he was going to win, and this was prophesied, and
So watch this space. If you clocked him on the channel, watch this space. He might be telling the truth.
yes, exactly. Yeah, if his name is Michael McIntosh, then please, by all means, find him. But yes, he will be the president in 2024.
Nice talking to you. Can I talk to you,
Yes.
to you about your stay last night? Was it okay?
My stay last night was wonderful. Was wonderful.
You're going to inform everyone what sort of bed sheets that you had on?
Yes. Well, it wasn't as bad as you might think. It wasn't exactly dinosaurs in space. It was one of those creative things where it was dinosaurs, like dinosaurs if they were a zodiac. So it replaced all the zodiac signs like Taurus and Gemini and Leo with a Brontosaurus and a Triceratops and a T-Rex, and it was fine. I slept actually pretty hard. We were working pretty hard yesterday. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Way more relaxed today. The tour groups have kind of come and gone. I don't know what, because this is a tour group area where they from what I understand, there's actually not that many Irish people who come through here. It's mostly tourists. So that guy, he's from freaking Boston. There's a lot of Americans.
I've just been speaking to someone from Brazil.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, a lot of tourists.
Yeah.
And quite a few Americans. So, but it's cool. It's wonderful. My next goal is to figure out, because tomorrow we're going to Cardiff. And I will be talking there a little bit before I'm heading off to the Gather Festival in Stockholm. If you guys are interested, we're live streaming, right? Okay. So I'm going to be doing the Gather Festival. You can look it up at gatherfestival.com. I am keynoting, go figure, a European conference set in Sweden. And the two people that are up on stage first are myself and David McMurray. We'll say McMurray. His name's David. And he's a best-selling author, and we're going to be talking about the psychology of conspiracies and all that. And we're going to obviously bring in Flat Earth. I'm being introduced as the guy in Behind the Curve. Yeah. Anyway, the point is I'm going to be doing that, flying over there, and then coming back to Kidderminster for the big UK Globe Live conference.
Now that's not being live streamed, is it?
No, but look it up. I don't think it's being live streamed.
But it may be on YouTube later.
It may be on. Who knows? They may live stream it, but I don't have anything. I don't know much about it. Honestly, initially they contacted me and say, hey, how would you like to come over and represent Flat Earth? And I said, sure, why not? And then later it's like, you know what? We got a moderator for you. And it's like, moderator? What are you doing to moderate? So then I realized I wasn't even doing a full-blown presentation like I am in Kidminster. I'm just sitting up there for 90 minutes with this guy, and we're going back and forth. And that makes sense, because this is not a conspiracy festival. This is like a tech festival. This is like a forward-thinking futurist festival where they're talking about artificial intelligence and potential environmental things. And it's like, and the only conspiracy topic, I think, is us. It's me.
Right, that's brilliant.
So I was like, okay.
So it's like a whole new group of people.
Oh yeah. It's like, okay. And I think what it was, I think he played it safe, because initially if he thought, okay, I'll bring in Mark as like Flat Earth, but Flat Earth is it's such a, he doesn't even say Flat Earth. I'm not introduced anywhere in the description as Flat Earth, just behind the curve. And you know, he downplays it as much as possible. So instead we're going to be going into why conspiracies, why people, it's like I am the guy to talk to when it comes to this, because I will lay into them. It's like, okay, here's why people believe in conspiracies. Here's why a lot of conspiracies are real, but I go into the obvious disclaimers that not all conspiracies are mysteries that are being hidden deliberately. That's usually it. But it's like kind of like doing a puzzle and then realizing there's pieces missing and then realizing that somebody hid those pieces. And it gets weird after that. And then you're like trying, and then it's like, oh, but you don't know who hid them. And then it turns into this big quest. Everyone loves a mystery. Human beings love a mystery, period. So
Mark, there's 3 lovely French girls there who want their picture taken.
Who? Those girls?
Those girls.
Hi.
Are you French?
Why? Did you think I was French?
Yes. Why?
I have people out there that look like me. They made, I think, like 12 of me.
Yes. But I know you are the man. I see you on Netflix movie.
I am on Netflix. That is true. Oh, here. I'll give you my.
Tu regardes les vidéos en France?
Non, j'ai juste regardé le film.
Sur Netflix?
Oui. Et du coup, voilà.
Et qu'est-ce que tu as pensé de ça?
All right, so, wait, where'd you go? Oops, sorry.
Qu'est-ce que tu as pensé?
There you go. Take that too.
And maybe we can take a photo together?
No, I don't think so. Yes, of course.
Vas-y.
Where do you want to take? Here, take in front of this.
Non, en fait, non, mais je sais pas pourquoi je t'ai persuadé qu'il était français. Moi, je comprends rien, Robert. Mais non, tu viens où?
Did they see me on Netflix too, or just you?
Just me.
Just you? Awesome. That's great.
C'est le signe des platistes.
Ah ouais? C'est
you
quoi
want to do
ton
it again?
opinion?
Oh, no,
C'est ok.
C'est quoi ton
Ah,
opinion?
vas-y, ouais, vas-y. Bon, ben,
Tu le
All
penses
right, all
pas?
right, no, it's cool. It's fine.
Mais il faut penser, il faut y penser.
Where am I looking? I'm looking there.
it's okay. Thank you.
Thank
Very
you
well.
very much. Et toi, qu'est-ce que tu penses de ça? Qu'est-ce que tu as ton opinion?
Ça fait se poser des questions, mais après, je reste quand même assez sceptique.
Right on. How's that?
Mais je trouve
Right.
ça réflexion.
There's some psychologists on that, unfortunately, which is, they've done this in the States many, many times, which is if you took 50 people, hired them just to mingle around, you will draw
Seen it.
hundreds.
Yeah.
In fact, and then people all of a sudden just start thinking
Yeah,
that it's
yeah.
like, oh yeah, didn't you? In fact, they brought in like fake reporters. It's like, oh, did you like him in such and such movie?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I loved him in such movie. It's like, he wasn't in that
See
movie.
random celebrities getting out of limousines,
Right.
and it's just a random bloke.
Yeah. Paris Hilton kind of started that. It was famous for being famous.
Yes.
Which is, you just go to parties. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye. Why she thought it was French?
Because it would
it
have been in
sub-
French.
was it
would have
subtitled
been.
in French?
Oh no, more. Was it dubbed in
Was
French?
it dubbed in French? I gotta find that out.
Must have been. She was a fan, and she said that she'll study it now.
And who was the voiceover on that?
Yeah, that's the
Who was
question.
your
If
stand-in?
she thought I was French, then
They dubbed.
it.
I wonder. I bet it was.
Oh god.
That would have taken some
It was a
doing.
porn
It was
star.
Jean-Luc. What's that guy in Léon? The guy who starred in Léon.
Oh right, yeah.
What about what was his name? Depardieu?
Oh yeah,
The
you could
big
be-
guy?
You could have Depardieu as your double.
Whatever. That's awesome. Seriously, that's awesome.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
again,
yeah.
shows the numbers, which
That's
is We're just in a street
Yeah.
in Dublin, and a French girl.
French girls are enthusiasts.
Watched
Yeah.
the documentary, and so I gave her my card, gave her a press kit, and wonderful. Her English
Yeah.
wasn't terrible.
And I told her, she told me about this, that she had looked at it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That makes my day.
She tries to think for herself, she says.
Right there. I'm thrilled. So
So I'd say that she's very open-minded.
What we say, the thing is, it's open to interpretation.
The way
No,
The flight- the flight-
I could see how that would work with a Gulf Stream, for example.
Well, it's just those sort of things that put questions in our minds, and then we start looking into further into the sort of things and finding out that they're, the curvature formula. Now, this is what actually got to me. I was saying about the ships going over the horizon, and I saw the video and I thought, well, NASA seems to be faking some of their images or altering them in some way that they're no longer representing accurately. And I thought, could these people who are making the videos of the ships appearing to come back from over the horizon, could they be faking them? So there's a cameras, a P900 and the P1000. So when I looked up, I could find one for £350. Now, it was a bit expensive, but I could afford it. And I thought, well, I want to look into it, and I want to see whether these boys are really telling the truth, if they're deceiving in some way. So I went out and bought the camera. And that's when I saw it for myself, that I was able to look at the horizon, see nothing there, and then zoom in, and then find ships, and then much more. Now, as you can feel from my accent, I'm from Northern Ireland, and there's a place called Carrickfergus. There's a castle, and you can look out and actually see 60 miles away to the Isle of Man. Now, when you look in the formula for the curvature of the Earth, it tells me at 60 miles, it should be 2,000 feet below below the curve. But
I am a sinner.
the highest peak on the Isle of Man is 2,032 feet, which meant that all I should be able to see is 32 feet. But when I zoom in and I'm actually able to take a video, I'm able to see all the valleys and hills and dips. And I'm even now, I can't say for sure, identify that I'm seeing particular buildings, but I am able to see windmills in the foreground, which makes me think that I'm seeing much more than what I can see. So I've done other similar observations at 20 miles.
My observation in life is, I'm
well-
not a philanthropist, but I'm a pretty good guy.
That's
My
good to hear.
observation in life is that people are basically full of shit.
Well-
Excuse the terminology. Shakespeare once said.
No, well, it's when you get to a smaller distance of 10 miles away.
Yeah.
At 10 miles away, it's 66 feet. Now, when I use my camera, I'm able to look across to a lighthouse, which I should only be able to see part of the top of the lighthouse. I'm able to see the full lighthouse on the
That's rocks assuming
below it.
that light travels in one straight
Yeah.
line rather than
You
is
ever see the
gravitationally
rats
lensed
crawling
by.
up the
Well,
street?
yes, there.
Because the geodesic that light follows is basically one unipotential surface that is gravitationally fixed by whatever's going
Well,
on. So,
yeah, there-
I mean, if you had a large lump of metal under the Earth, the light would actually dip into the Earth, if that makes sense. Whereas
I said
light
the core
basically
of the Earth,
follows
they
a
say,
straight line relative to the single potential of the gravitational well it's inside, if that makes sense. I mean, you can make it do other important things
Yeah, well,
as well, which explains some of those things too.
Yes, I agree that there's more going on.
But
than
I can see
simply-
how you're saying that there are, making certain kinds of measurements and certain types of assumptions. You definitely can say this is a decent alternate hypothesis.
Yeah, well, things like the ships, that's to say, I should get further and further out. They would say they'll disappear bottom up. But what I've noticed that I am able to zoom in, and sometimes it does actually, depending on the atmospheric conditions, it does actually look like the boat is floating above, 3 or 4 feet, because it looks like the bottom of the boat has disappeared. But when you take in, there's possibly 15, 20 miles of waves on the atmospheric things. So I do agree that sometimes you do appear to lose the bottom of ships, but you're not. It's not looking as though it's going over a curve, and it looks as though there's some sort of atmospheric thing.
plus you can also see the horizon on beyond that.
But it's a dimensional correlation issue, isn't it? Because effectively we find ourselves on effectively a two-dimensional manifold in a three-dimensional space, which means on a certain level the surface of the Earth is flat to us because we exist on this thing. Whereas possibly if we're in a five-dimensional construct, for example, which I think is much more likely that we're in a hyperdimensional thing, actually what we see as three dimensions are projections of much higher dimensions, causing the shapes and the structures of those things, which is a completely bomb thing. Sorry, I'm going to have to deal with this. Thank you very much. Though.
Okay, well,
thank you.
Good speaking to
you.
And
you.
Just look up, look in the thing. We're just saying be skeptical and look at examine some of the information.
I'm always
good speaking to you.
Thank you very much. All the best.
No, well, he obviously was open, and that was one of the good things. He says he is skeptical. He has other theoretical opinions, and that's good that you can look into it. Now, again, where I would probably say is, what is his basis for having those theoretical opinions? I'd be willing to talk to him and have a wee chat and hear why he's doing it. He seemed open, and that's all we're asking, is someone to be open and to look into the information. But you also, if you want them to listen to you, you have to be prepared to listen to them. So that's it's interesting when someone is willing to...
We didn't have a lot of that yesterday, though, did we?
Well, I got all the good ones. I moved on. Anyone who was hogging the limelight, I smiled at them and let them walk on to the next person.
Hi, I met you.
Hi.
Yeah,
Sean's my name.
Hi, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed
Jason,
that you picked up Jason.
Yeah. Hi, Nora. How are you? How's
What
things?
about Gab? Do you think he's coming?
I've no clue.
Aww. I was hoping he would.
Gab,
I was hoping all of you would. Look, only in truth it says.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Let me just have a quick look at that.
Get it so you only see those words.
So are you traveling around with these guys all the time?
Things you see.
I'm going to start spitting, and it's really disappointing to me.
Where have you come from?
Castlebar, County Mayo. It's the west of Ireland.
All right, okay.
West of Ireland, yeah.
All right,
so I come by train. I brought my bike on the train.
Yeah.
Got the train. I met a friend for lunch and then cycled over here.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, no, it's great idea. Yeah, because for a time I used to live here, and then I moved back to Mayo. And so for the first month of being in Mayo, I still worked here. So that's how I come up on the train with the bike, cycle over.
How long have you known that you don't live on a ball?
It's about towards the end of 2016. I first started getting into it. Yeah.
Yeah, about the same time.
Yeah. Kind of just started questioning everything. I watched a documentary called Everything is a Rich Man's Trick from JFK to 9/11. Have you ever seen it?
No, I have.
Have you seen it,
I
Nora?
love that film.
Repeat that again?
Everything is a Rich Man's Trick
Have you not
from
seen that?
JFK to 9/11.
No.
But it really opened my mind, and after watching it, I just began to think, well, we've pretty much been lied to about everything. You know,
On every level.
on every level, and I began to question things, and then these videos started showing up about flat Earth,
Yes.
and I bought into it straight away. Like, I thought, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I was watching Eric Dubé, but for me, what sells it is water.
Yes.
You know, just water
That
always
wasn't enough
finds
for
its
me,
level.
but I get
you know?
that. I get it.
Oh.
It tells a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah,
It does.
like there's a bridge in China, isn't it? It's like 100 miles long,
Yes.
and I think there's only a deviation in curvature, or there's only 2 inches difference from one end to the other or something. But if we were on a ball,
Yeah.
it would have to be so many 100 feet or something. You know, so
That's right.
Yeah.
So, what would you say? Would it have been Eric Dubé that was the clincher?
he was one. Yeah. Yeah, probably Eric Dubé. Yeah.
Kind of. Well, he was the clincher for me to want to know more.
Yeah.
You know, like,
But this, I'm also a Christian as well. So then I started looking at people who come at it more from a Christian angle, like Rob Skiba or Robbie Davidson or people like that, you know. And then I began to see it in the scriptures, you know. And I go, what? I know it's scriptures that I read so many times,
Yes.
like when it talks about the firmament,
That's it.
and even in Genesis it says God made two great lights, a lesser light to rule the night and the greater light to rule the day, the sun and the moon. So it says that the moon is a light, whereas we're taught that it's a reflection of the sunlight. So
it sounds nonsense. Like last night, I don't know if you've seen the moon last night.
Yeah, it was beautiful last night.
It was beautiful last night. And that was obvious a light. That was no reflection. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, okay, it could be a reflection, but because sometimes it does look like a stone, doesn't it?
But if it was reflecting a light, like if you were shining a light onto a ball, there's kind of there's a heat spot, isn't there?
Well, that's right, and basically that should kind of go back to itself, shouldn't it? Really, if it's a ball.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't really see that. We would just see this heat spot.
Exactly.
It shouldn't come back to us.
And also, I think at the time as well, around that, I started watching stuff about the moon landing as well, and that's clearly a hoax as well. Like, and then you begin to go, well, if they didn't really go there, why did they make it out as if they did go there? I think I watched that.
What are they hiding?
What are they hiding? Yeah.
There you go.
And even from an early age, we're taught to believe lies. We're taught about Santa Claus. We're taught to believe something that isn't true, but we believe it because everybody says it's true. Just like the globe, we believe it because everybody believes it to be true.
That was one of my first statements I put at the top of my banner. Was all about belief.
Yeah.
Belief in two fairies. Belief in. Have you met Mark?
No, I only know Mark from watching him online. That's all. Sean.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Where are you from?
I'm from Mayo. It's the west of Ireland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And did you know we were here?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. We're on a WhatsApp group. So I met with Paul. Paul on the plane. We had a meeting there.
Paul should be here.
And where is he?
I don't know. Where's Paul?
He's listening. Paul, can you let Roxanne know? Are you coming here? He probably is.
Let me practice. Paul, you daft bastard. Why aren't you here? Oh, here. Yeah, Paul was supposed to be here. He was supposed to be in Belfast yesterday, and he couldn't. And he's supposed to be here. I heard he might be in Cardiff tomorrow. Maybe. Paul, come to Cardiff. What the hell? So, anyway, that's cool.
Good to meet you.
Yeah. It's a fun little thing. I mean, we've already had. You missed the French girl that came by that watched behind the curve. What was weird was, again, we were talking, is like if that thing was dubbed in French. I gotta find that. If it actually dubbed that thing in French, then wow.
Because they come across like the blokes in French. They come across like porn stars.
Oh really?
They really do.
Well, if that's the case, I mean that's fine. But because she asked if I was French, I go no, and what's like why would she ever think that? And it's like okay, well it had to have been dubbed in French.
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
so she took the shots. I gave her a media kit, and it'll be in English. But go figure. Again, that shows the numbers. We had at least 10 people in the middle of Belfast walk by during that little window that either knew us, knew the topic, or was related in some way. Like Simon Dan. Hi, Simon Dan. I'm in Dublin. You're not. Well, I'm doing activism. What are you doing? I shouldn't give him too much credit. This a guy from the new Simon Dan, who was one of ours for like 2 years.
He was, is he?
Yeah, he was one of ours for 2 years, and he's like, until I found sense through Simon Dan, I was going, it's like whatever. So I don't think he was truly ours, to be honest. And then another guy who was an Eric Dubé guy, who came in, and then I don't know the orange-haired guy. I don't know why there's orange-haired people in Ireland. He came by and he was an ODD guy.
Oh right.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, everybody, it's everywhere. People keep saying, "Oh, how many are there?" There's millions of them, millions and millions of flat earthers. You just don't know it because we don't wear anything. We don't have any patches or special hats or.
But I was watching actually an Eric Dubé interview there yesterday.
Yeah.
He did an interview with some Spanish guy, but he said there's a lot of people out there that they don't feel comfortable talking about it.
No.
So they believe it themselves, but they don't feel, they might feel embarrassed or something. Like I mentioned it to my younger brother.
Right.
And you could just see the cognitive dissonance rise in him. He got angry.
Yeah.
But he didn't call me retarded, but he said that anybody who would believe in such a thing is retarded. So
Right.
indirectly he called me retarded. So if you do kind of open up about it, you're kind of opening yourself up to criticism, to
Absolutely.
rejection, to insults. So a lot of people just go, well, I'm not even going to talk
Yeah,
to
why
people
talk
it.
about?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've had so many emails that have said the same thing. Friends, family, coworkers, that's the big one. And in fact, the one they're most scared of is coworkers. Friends and family, you can sort of friends. Screw you. I believe in this. You believe in something else. Family, I mean, if it's your
I
spouse.
believe in rock and roll.
Oh God, and
Rock
Jesus,
and
I know.
roll.
You got a new one already? I thought you were out of
Rock
money.
and roll. I temporarily was out of money. I believe in rock and roll and Jesus. He came down from the heavens. He said,
yeah.
"You motherfucker, I'm gonna save you." You know?
Paraphrase.
He says. Paraphrase.
Anyway,
You know, when Jesus went looking for people, he didn't go looking for nuns and popes and priests. He went looking for guys that suffered. Guys like me, who are in the gutter. I come down from...
I'm not going to give him any time.
Some of them have gone into space, but the only... Yeah.
That's exactly right. So, I mean, there's far more than 23. I would say that the rest of the Earth's atmosphere has got to be, I don't know, but it's more than 23, that's for sure. But I'll double check. Just out of curiosity.
How many people have been out into space? Like,
I believe it's
astronauts?
about 550, something like
Yeah,
that.
but there were, how many of them, like, that's how many have been to space?
Yeah, but
how
that's
many
not
have been
deep
to the
space.
moon? Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
mean,
I was
Just
talking
enough
about.
to see the supposed
I
curvature
thought
of
it's
the
24.
Oh, deep space. It's
I thought it was
only about
24.
50. Well, I was going to say about 50, to be honest. You know,
Yeah.
but I don't know the figure.
No, it's just curious.
Yeah.
But have you, people with your philosophy, have any of you funded somebody who would take that risk to go up and have a look?
How much is that going to cost? It's like,
I'm sure you can get the support. you
Really?
know? Oh, I don't know.
I've struggled trying to get support just for this.
Well, what I was going to say,
Go on,
like
yeah,
with
yeah.
the Felix jump, it says here that he went over 23 miles. Well, this high altitude air balloon, that goes to about 21 miles, and yet you can't see a curve here if there's no fisheye lens. And Neil, like I said, Neil deGrasse Tyson actually said himself that you would not be able to see the curve there. So they're depicting it as if there is a curve, but actually in reality there wouldn't be a curve.
Yeah, I'll double check.
They're
all
not
of
that
I mean,
high.
again, you could tell me that's 75 miles, and I wouldn't be able to argue with you.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, so again, it's a lovely leaflet, and out of sheer curiosity, I will check because it's you make interesting arguments. Look, but I still am the indoctrinated.
We know we can't convince you in 5 minutes. Not going to happen.
No, but it's curious, and it's something I've seen pop up once or twice in recent weeks, and it just goes against the grain in every which way, shape, and like I said to this lady, all you got to do is look up there. You'll see a circular moon, you'll see a circular sun, you'll see billions of circular planets. Yeah, we are down here, very true, and everybody up there will say the same thing about their place as well, if there are any. But yeah, it's a curious. Yeah, look. But
did you see that one?
Which
Official
NASA official Earth Image 2012. Oh, what's the? What did I miss on that?
They are both America.
Yeah,
It shrank in 1 year.
it shrank in 1 year. Okay, well again like that.
You can't verify that right
Again,
here on
I
the
can't.
screen.
Yeah, and
That's good. That's where you should
And
be.
do you know what? I don't know who drew their map.
No, that's
and
not.
you know what?
Guys like this guy here, what's it? Rob Simmons. He's a data visualizer. Basically, he just takes streams of data, given them to from NASA, and he stitches it all together, puts it on a 3D blank sphere, says, "Look, there you go. It's your photograph of Earth."
And I also noticed that a lot of these places, these maps I see on Earth actually show borders as well, but there's no borders. So I couldn't take somebody's version
No,
of
you need to get on
the globe.
Do you want a coffee?
It's a curious thing.
Anyway, as long as you're fine to
Might be dying for coffee.
have you
Does
got
anyone-
coffee there?
I got some black and I got milk in another.
Yeah, please, lovely.
Oh, okay.
Do you want a coffee?
Good girl.
No, but thank you for not asking. No, I don't drink coffee. It's not.
I'm trying to stay clear of Mark and Sean because there's a very inebriated man there. Drunken.
Are you living a good life? I don't want to pet. I look scared. Hello, I love you.
He's after a bowl of Guinness. He is. He's waiting. That's Mark having a little sing-song.
I'm just collecting. You can put it on this. This is my scribble page. Put it here.
Okay, cool.
I'm just trying to show people curvature.
Grab my coffee before.
Many people don't know. This
Is that
your
the black
one.
one? Thank
Do
you
want
very
sugar?
much. I don't need sugar, thank you.
So,
Give us a second. Just got to put you down for a second.
Is he part of your group?
Are you not even here? Can you teach me?
Sorry, I'm trying to drink coffee at the same time.
Can I sit there and watch it?
And it's really hot. It's very hot.
I always get stuck up on one stupid thing I had to select. You know what I mean? Exactly.
I have to leave that there forever later. Oh, well, let's go back. We can see what Mark's got to say now.
It's like, and then you Mark, were into flat Earth. So what? So behind, and so literally in the description of the Gather Festival, I'm listed as Mark Sargent from Behind the Curve. And nowhere does it say, oh yeah, by the way, he's a flat earther. Because it scares people. In fact, it reminds me of Alex Jones. Most people don't know, or some people do, that I was supposed to do the Alex Jones show. Right? The producers called me up years ago, like 2 years ago at least, and they said, and it was the weirdest conversation. They said, so how long can we do a flat Earth show without actually saying it? I go, saying what? They go, flat Earth, and I go, the words? And they go, yeah, and I go, 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and they you can hear this pause, and then it's like, no, can't do it. They were so worried about, and I've gotten that from a lot of people, a lot of guys I've talked to, where they've said going in, it's kind of like the Stockholm thing, where they booked me for an interview, and then they're like, okay, just to let you know, I'm really nervous about doing this show, and they should be nervous. I mean, you get a bunch of people right away that will contact the station or the podcast person or whatever and say,
Can I hand out a few booklets here? You grab one of them? Okay. You grab one of them?
Thank you.
You've got any questions? I'm about.
He came to our party. He came to our party.
So, it can't all be about Mark. I need to get about. I know some of you might want to listen on that conversation, but we'll get back to him later. Well, there's enough of us here, but we just need some people.
Oh yeah, we can have let's do that.
Have you come across it before?
Yeah, now it's clicking.
I've heard of it, but never.
Let me have another sip.
No, I come across it about getting on 3 years ago now, and thought it was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever heard. And I struggled with it. I thought, give me a few days, I'm going to debunk this and show how easy it is that these people, they're obviously mistaken. And I was struggling, so I carried on with an open mind, and 4.5 months later, I'm saying, you know what, I can't prove that we live on a globe, because my only actual proof was, well, NASA photographs. Yeah. That was my proof. So as long as I had trust and belief in NASA, then, well, I didn't need to prove it, did I? NASA knows, or science knows.
Yeah.
But when I looked into it, I found out that these globes that they've been presenting to us, they are all fake. They are what you call either a composite, or people like him, data visualizers. He actually puts them all together and puts them on a blank 3D sphere and sells it you as a photograph. Yep, I was happy that they were all photographs. I did wonder why they were all so different, like from all these different space agencies. I thought, wow, people say, oh, we've got different cameras and all that. Not really. Yeah, I did wonder that. It's today we're just asking people with an open mind, because I know, again, it's still a little bit on the crazy side for me, it was. Go to our website, watch a couple of videos, and if you want to take it further, there's an app there as well. You can download that, and there's some also really good videos on there, and 21 questions and lots of facts. Yeah, just look into it. Yeah, that's all we're asking. Excellent. That's all we want.
Thank you.
Yeah, cheers then. Yeah, that's all we want. People with an open mind, just check things out. I'm so sure that I'm not going to convince anybody on the street. It'd just be nice that they would look into it. I mean, one thing that happens is that you actually do learn quite a lot of science about it. I mean, I've got an awful long way to go, but I'm learning some bits. I didn't realize. I went to Brian's house and he's got a library full of physics books and science books and that. So he's learning lots about science, but he's got some great books about the cosmos and that, you know, which kind of it's all the distances to the cosmos, you know, like to all these planets and wormholes and black holes, and it's quite clear to him in these books that they've got no proof whatsoever for any of these distances. No proof. Brian, what was that book that about the distances to all these galaxies? Planets and that.
Calculating the cosmos. Was it Ian Stewart?
Yeah,
or something
like that. Yeah. Calculating. Yeah. And what was the other? Can you remember the other book that you kind of?
Well, it was a recommendation. I don't know whether it was. I think it might have been watching a Rob Skiba video. Don't quote me on that, right. Which you are. But I think Arthur Kosher or something like that there, and it was. Oh, Nora has a copy of it there.
Yes.
Nora has a paperback copy there.
Nora, what's that book that you nicked off Brian? What's it called?
Like 4 times
Oh,
now.
wasn't it called The Sleepwalkers? The Sleepwalkers. I didn't nick it. I'm borrowing it.
She's borrowing it.
But what's
she
the
nicked
subtitle? It's the subtitle's more interesting than the Sleepwalkers.
Oh no, I can't remember the.
Is it not there? Do you not have it?
No, I didn't carry it with me.
Who was the author on that? Can you remember?
I don't remember.
No.
Kersler, Koestler, or something like that, like a.
Well, it's called The Sleepwalkers.
It's a German word. It's either K-O-E or K-E.
Yeah. Right, so.
I'm sorry I don't have it.
No, that's okay.
I should have.
Well, no, I mean, I was just crossing my mind
Should've
about his extensive library
no,
of.
it's nice. Yeah, he has a really lovely library, doesn't he? He has lots of really nice flat earth books. And he used to be into arguing for creationism, as opposed to the evolution. So he has loads of really interesting books about that. He had that Darwin copy, remember? Keep it far from me, that thing. No, he had. Yeah, that's true. He had the copy of The Origin of Species.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's well into the disproving evolution.
And he was kind of into that before Flat Earth, basically.
He used to do debates and that. So
Yeah,
maybe that's how he found us.
Yes.
Probably through Rob Skiba or something.
Yeah, he just mentioned Rob Skiba,
Yeah. Sound like the Harley guy the way I said that. Probably through. Who's on the chat? Hi guys. Hi. Hi Karen. We're in Ireland doing Flat Earth. Show the Irish Flat Earthers. Show. That's our friends. We've got crazies. We have a person who went to Mars. We have a person who keeps on shouting at Magdalena because he's very drunk.
Yeah.
But other than that, everything's going swimmingly.
Thai massage. Anyone want a Thai massage? Sounds awesome.
In Belfast, I had a lot of takers.
Yeah, where were you in Belfast?
We were at Ann Street, Corn Market. Where were we? Where were we in Belfast?
Sorry?
Was it Corn Market and Ann Street?
It was, it was Arthur Street, Ann Street. It was a little square there where they all come together. It's really good. It's right outside the Free Masonic Hall.
Yeah, check out a Masonic Hall next to us.
Lovely.
What a place to go. We did. It wasn't intentional, but if I knew it was there, we would have still
Somebody
gone.
is going to say it's intentional.
yeah, that's right.
Somebody did in the comments.
Did they?
Somebody did already in the comments that you set up outside on purpose.
I guarantee you, if I'd have known it, we would be
And that's
going.
why-
We
that's why-
definitely would have.
That's because of him.
Yeah.
That's because of that guy over there. Because obviously he looks just like he's right out of a lodge.
We did go in there for dinner, didn't we?
Mark is on it. You know.
So yeah, I think that's my problem I found with all of this is I think some people do get a little too paranoid. I'm not saying that, and it might be me. I might be a little naive, maybe. Don't know. But I just don't buy into it all. Not Freemasons, are they involved? At what level? I think that's my problem. At what level? I don't think they're all in on it. It's a huge subject. It's a big subject, and I have ideas, but yeah, not much to share, I'm afraid. Oh, we got Man from Mars. Man from Mars is back. It's kind of interesting that he's back. Can I give you one of them? Sure. There you go. Would you like one of them? No? There's like a leaflet there? Oh, what's that? Like a leaflet there?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Jason, just a moment. I have to record this. What did you say?
Do you require evidence that the Earth is a sphere?
I do require evidence that the Earth is a sphere.
All right. That's a reasonable request.
So are you going to give it to me?
I think I can.
Well, I've been waiting 4 years.
Okay. It's going to take some time because of reasons I can't go into fully right now.
Yeah?
But it'll happen.
When?
Let's see. 2024.
Sorry, I've got to come back. You heard of the Men in Black? But no.
Jason, you missed the punchline.
No,
The punchline was great.
No, I had to walk away. But what was it?
Jason!
No.
He's going to give me evidence for the sphere in 2024.
I know, I've heard.
And he's been to Mars.
Yeah, I heard.
Jason.
Hi Jason, how are you? I suppose if you could read into space.
Yeah, he was. The guy was. He was looking right through you. It was. It's really strange. I felt a little bit creepy, a bit creeped out over it. Really strange.
They're not allowed you to work out a formula for what's urban.
Getting a little crowd.
When you work out a very simplified one, for the first mile,
Did you send it to him?
Yeah.
second mile of curve is 32 inches, the third is 70. So it's 4 miles to go. So at 10 miles,
Earth is not a spinning ball.
And would you like one? And would you like one? So you're all of the same opinion.
Yeah, it's very funny.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Should we ridicule people who have a difference of opinion, or should we
I
investigate?
can find opinions funny, can't I? Or is humor not subjective?
Not good. Yeah, so that's what I was saying before. You know, like you can ask one person, and it's like a domino of no. People can't think for themselves. Um, hello. What have we got? Yeah. What's the matter?
Dublin City Council.
Yeah, do you want to? Yeah.
That's where the music is.
So just so I can hear you a bit better.
My name is Mark Fidel. I'm a little word of Dublin City Council.
Oh, yeah.
You're not allowed to hand out flyers.
Oh, okay.
You're not allowed to hand out flyers. There's no permit for flyers. You can't hand out flyers.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm just curious. How would I know that?
Because you can't get a permit to hand out flyers.
Okay. Is there a reason why?
People are dropping them on the ground.
We're not. Okay.
They're dropped on the ground.
Okay.
I'll have to ask you
Don't
to
you
stop.
have any laws against any
No,
people dropping litter?
yeah, there is law against dropping litter.
All right,
you should be fined. You should be fined.
For what?
For handing out flyers.
Okay.
You're not allowed to hand out flyers.
Okay, just fine us. That's okay.
Just fine yourself.
That's fine. I don't mind. I won't be paying it, but it's okay. I'll accept the fine. I'll never pay. Sorry.
Regulations?
Yeah. That's right. I won't be paying.
Are we getting arrested?
No. He just wants to show his authority.
What did he do?
Yeah, he wants to stop me, prevent me from handing out leaflets.
Did he?
Well, he wants to, and he wants to.
Taking the piss like everyone else today?
And he wants to fine me.
Are you taking the piss?
No, I know.
He really does want to fine you?
He wants to fine me.
Are you sure?
Yeah, but it's okay. You know. It's all the same. I mean, like we've been all over. You can go to Ireland.
I'm down here in the Temple Bar. The guy here's getting smart. Just said there's no permit against fire. So you go left to see the square.
How are you doing? You can stay there, whatever you're doing is fine, right? But just don't hand out first, that's all. That's all. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, so they don't want us to hand out flyers, you know, like. But it's. I think you all know my feelings, you know, like, and unless I'm being dragged away by police, I'll do what I want, you know. But I can't speak for the other guys, you know, like. But that's up to them.
No, I recognize you too. No, seriously.
Oh yeah, he's the guy who's more famous than me though.
Yeah, I did recognize
I'm just like
him
the
first,
person.
yeah.
I just give tickets and I do registration.
It's funny. I'm visiting. So I'm visiting from the U.S. and I literally just got here.
Obviously.
And so I've been walking around and I saw this. I was like, oh my gosh.
What state are you from?
Tennessee.
Oh.
Yeah.
Southerner. We have a Southerner.
Yeah.
So you must know about it. In the right. Okay.
And how are they going to catch us?
Well done.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know as well. The council do not want us handing out flyers, so you need to make your own choice whether you want to or not. Okay? You're very welcome to. You can just put them aside and just have conversations. All right?
What are we looking at?
Of the amount.
I should at least inform them that, you know, because I can make my choice, but these guys need to know.
And so you can measure all of this down.
I'll just inform you, the council do not want you to hand out flyers, okay? So I just want you to know that there'll be a fine if you do.
You show them if you do.
Okay, but I just want you to know.
Right.
I mean,
May I have one of those?
you can have one of them because you asked one. So no, I didn't hand it out.
I certainly can.
So that's a good point. You know, like we should walk around and say, "Would you like a flyer?"
Well, it's yours. So
That's nonsense. There's nothing.
The question is, may I?
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go.
I certainly can.
All right. Yeah, I think it's a shame, isn't it? You know, that you could probably have a good chat with matey there, the man in black, and you probably have a good chat with him, but we don't talk about spaceships and Mars and things. Look at this.
It's okay. And then so 40, between 30 and 40 is going to be 6 times or 1,066. So between there, so let's say that
Yeah, because Richard and I were just thinking Steve, and so whether or not
Yeah, I think we should just walk around with our flyers in our hands and let people take them. It's a subtle technicality.
No, yeah, we started. No. I mean, I have said this many times. Like, look, if I am the
Right, let's grab my coffee.
I'm not accusing or anything. I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah.
So what are you guys trying to do by shedding light onto this? Is
Well,
it
I
just
don't
like
know.
a
I
hey?
was
Is
discussing
it
that
really
with
you're being lied to? Like overall.
It
I
is
mean.
that.
Okay.
It is that. I don't like hoaxes in the media. I don't
Okay.
like that they lied to us about, which I believe.
I would agree. No, I agree with that,
9/11,
yeah.
Sandy Hook, and the Boston bombing were
sure.
all lies.
Sure.
And this is part of those lies because they are part of the media. In fact, they're very linked to Disney.
So why do you think they would? Why do you think they would hide this from us?
See, I always try to find the facts before I ask why.
Sure.
Because I'm logical and I like to do my what, my who, before I ask my why. But if you ask that, it could be control to get people to fight between each other. It could be divide and conquer. Could be that. It could be just to say, oh, hey, we know everything. We are the priests of science.
Right.
Bow down before us and answer to us. And you know, like you have to accept their authority.
Yeah.
And that would just keep people in line and keep them working. Besides, NASA has so many subcontractors that so many people had to work in that industry. The military-industrial complex was kept full of jobs.
Yeah.
I know that because I was talking to my uncle in California a month ago. He said so many people had jobs in the military or in NASA. They all did a little bit of this NASA job, right? They didn't know what they were doing at all. Nor did the people in the submarines know what they were doing in the war. They just did their little bit. He used to just do a machine every day. So it's very compartmentalized. So I think it keeps jobs going, it keeps investments going, it keeps the system going.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think that's enough of a motivation to keep lying.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that for a second. Yeah.
But I don't think it's like one guy sitting in a room.
No,
lying.
right,
It's just
yeah.
like it's a thing we've got into as a society together.
Yeah.
It's a big mistake.
So, okay, on the topic of, again, just being genuinely curious, as far as photos from NASA go, stuff like that, is that all just fabricated? Is that the...
Well, look at this.
Okay.
All of them are represented as photographs, and yet compared to the sphere, to the size of the circle that you see, they all have a different proportion taken up by America. Look, small. Now, people are saying, oh, they're zooming in, but if they're zooming in, then that one is fake. It's cut off.
Sure.
Right? So why, if anyone is fake, why would any picture be faked? If they can actually just snap photos of the Earth from space.
Yeah.
Why would they fake that one only? Why would they fake all of these, which they all seem to be fake? Some of these have Photoshop bits. You can see the clouds copied and pasted.
Okay.
So that's the question. Why do they have to fake the globe if it exists?
Do you think that, I mean, just to play devil's advocate here, do you think that they would try to cover their tracks a little better if they were trying to lie to us? I mean, that doesn't justify why these are different.
So the question is, why do they make obvious mistakes?
Yeah. That's just...
To us, it's obvious. To some of the people we see,
Sure. Well, I mean, you can look at this and be like, yeah, this is pretty different from...
Some people
they're all
don't
different,
even...
you know?
People don't reflect.
Yeah.
They just say, oh yeah, they took a picture from space, and they walk on through their day.
Yeah.
They say, oh, I believe in science, and they walk on through their day.
Sure.
They're not thinking. Obviously, you thought about these things.
Yeah.
That's uncommon.
Okay, yeah.
So I think that's why they make a mistake. In a way, they're taking the piss because they know everybody will accept it because everyone's so dumbed down that they will accept it.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, yeah, thank you for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to keep looking over this and reading it.
Don't forget, Neil deGrasse Tyson said it's an oblated sphere, which is clear there.
They give us a circle.
Yeah.
It's just like a really rich study area.
Interesting.
What's your name?
Andrew.
Nora.
Yeah,
Nice to
nice
talk
to
to
meet
you.
you.
We'll be on his channel.
Yeah. Is this YouTube? Is this Facebook? What is it? Oh, awesome. Okay.
Are you going to go around the country,
Yeah, I've been backpacking around Europe a little bit. Copenhagen is after this. It's my last stop, and I'm
That's
headed
great.
back to the States for a
I
little
used to
bit.
do that too.
Yeah, it's great. It's
I
my
was just
first
telling
time.
Mark
so.
how I used to hitchhike all over Ireland. It was very safe.
Yeah,
Back in the States.
yeah. I wonder. I mean, it probably wouldn't be as safe now, but it'd probably be safer.
No, I wouldn't say it's safe.
Yeah.
It would be equal to America now.
Oh, really?
I'd say,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, then, yeah. Yeah, I would never do it there.
I'm willing to look at both sides. Listen to what I also found was that I talk a lot. What I also discovered was that not everyone who comes to this comes from a religious perspective, and some people think that's where it's always coming from. People come from all different perspectives. I personally am a Christian, and therefore I looked at it from that angle. But what I found when I discovered that I'd been lied to about a lot of things was when someone comes up with a different opinion to me, I don't think immediately I'm going to dismiss it because my Christian opinion is that's wrong, unless I've looked into it a little bit more. So I've met a lot of great people with a lot of different views, and when I take the time to listen to them, my whole world has been opened up, and I've discovered things, and even the science. I've even looked further into mainstream science and find out that not all mainstream science doesn't agree, and some of them are skeptical, and they'll disagree with. There'll be the oddball, but sometimes it's the oddball who makes the great discoveries. So we'll just hope you have a wee look at these sites. And would you like a leaflet? Would you take one off? That's where there. Thanks for asking for that.
Is that how you do it? It's good to ask. Yeah, would you like a leaflet? Oh, I've got one here for you. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Look positive.
Yeah, so we're not handing leaflets out, we're getting them to ask for a leaflet. Really good.
You can make a curved shuttle.
And I literally just got here. Yeah, I was walking around and I saw you.
So the phases of the moon definitely are not.
Sure. Skip.
I am.
Yeah, question. Ruby. Ruby. So where'd you come in from?
I came in from. Where was I before this? Paris.
American, behind the curve.
Yeah, before this Paris, and then before that Barcelona.
Right on.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of backpacking around.
Right on. We're touring around. Well, I'm doing this little leg of it anyway.
Yeah.
I was in Belfast yesterday. We're in Dublin
Awesome.
today, and Cardiff tomorrow. And then where are you guys going after Cardiff?
We're going to
Birmingham. Cool. Right on. And then they're looping back down to Kidderminster for the weekend, and
Awesome.
the conference is down in Kidderminster. Kidderminster. Yeah, we're doing the UK conference down there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I thought, well, I couldn't. The conference promoter said, "Oh, you got to do this if we're."
Yeah.
doing the
Hey,
conference."
might as well.
Yeah,
right?
why
Going
not?
all
So
around.
we came up here, and the weather is held.
Yeah,
So,
I know. I was surprised that. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised it wasn't raining when I got here. It was like actually
Oh, we
kind
lucked out.
of feels nice out. And, yeah.
So when did you see the documentary?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of when
A
did it
while
come
ago.
out?
Well, did you see it on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay, then beginning of this year.
Okay, when was it released? Not on Netflix. Was
It
it before
was
that?
released last fall.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was released on iTunes and Amazon and Google, and then Netflix finally caved in, and they
Yeah.
said, okay, we'll take it. And then they picked it up. Actually, they picked it up just about December of last year.
Yeah, well, congrats on that.
Well,
That's
thank you.
Awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, it's super cool.
I received not a dime because it was a documentary. Officially can't even be a documentary if I received any money. So the production team out of LA did really well. I don't know how much they sold it for, but it did 27 film festivals in 9 countries.
Yeah.
So and then Netflix grabbed it, and yeah, Netflix. Oh my God, I had no idea. Everybody under the age of 30 owns Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's like because it's the best bang for your buck, and so literally it was just this wave of media that came over, and like the Stockholm thing that I'm doing tomorrow, heading to Stockholm tomorrow. That was because of it. I just shot Well, they know. I just shot a freaking television commercial in Australia because of the documentary.
Really?
Yeah, they said it. And so I'm sitting there holding a mobile phone app going, it's Mark Sargent from Behind the Curve. He's into flat earth. It's like, yeah, this is so easy. I can stand on my head. And they were in different versions of that.
Yeah.
Smiling. The phone's blank. They're going to image the stuff in later. And it's like, wow.
That's cool.
I know.
Yeah.
You get paid for that, though.
I did get paid for that.
Good.
But the truth was, I would have done it for free. They say fly down to Melbourne. We'll send you a ticket. You gotta be here in 10 days. It's like, yeah,
why not?
Absolutely, we'll do this. So it was cool, and I hope that bigger things come. But yeah, it just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Well, the documentary.
What an exciting life, though. That's crazy. I love that.
The topic's crazy. It's long as how in the world is a flat Earth documentary? The producers of the movie didn't think it was going to do much. Every film festival has thousands. Like the Toronto Film Festival, which premiered this thing, had 3,000 submissions.
Wow.
And they had to pick 100. We got in, and then out of those 100, we always kept making the top 10.
Yeah.
Always. And every film festival, and they said, well, it's never going to sell. And it could take up to 2 years before it sells. It's like sold instantly. And they're going, well, it's not, and it's sold to everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, we'll take it. And now the reason why it helps us is it gives the media an excuse to talk about it without even having to talk to us directly.
Yeah.
So beforehand, it's like they'd have to find flat earthers.
Sure.
It's like, what flat earthers can we look up? Are they going to be too insane? We're scared.
Yeah.
But now all I have to do is review a movie.
Yeah.
That's all I have to do.
I think it's interesting too. The documentary, I loved it. Regardless of whatever bias there was on it or not on it, whatever. I really just enjoyed it. Taking a step back and watching it and be like, this is super interesting.
Yeah.
But aside from that, if we want to get like conspiratorial, is that a word? Conspiratorial. There it is. I knew I wasn't right, but
conspiratorial. I'll use that.
It's interesting to me that because of its popularity and stuff.
Yeah.
If there is some truth, which I'm not saying there's not, I'm not saying there is. I don't know.
Right.
If there is some truth to it, it's almost like the media can look at it and be like, oh, look at this documentary. Look at how weird these people are. Look at that over there. Oh, yeah, this can't be real.
Can't be real.
It's so popular because it's so funny to watch. And it's like, I don't know.
Absolutely.
I think they do that with a lot of things.
They do.
So in that light, maybe this could be true. I don't know.
I feel like
they do that with a lot of things.
Agreed. When I got a chance to sit in on some of those festivals in the audience, make sure I wear like a hat and glasses.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't, people like all of a sudden eventually they'd be like,
oh my god.
Oh my god, he's there. And it's like it's like a flat earther. Like we did that in Toronto where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, Patricia and Mark are in the theater afterwards, and the whole audience turned.
Lord.
It was like, what?
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I told the director, I go, don't do it, it's a bad idea. He goes, no, it'll be fine. I go, it's not going to be fine. But what happened was, like, during the first 20 minutes of every showing, everyone did the same thing, was they were laughing because they didn't think it was real.
Yeah.
They honestly thought it was like a parody.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like 25 minute mark, they were going, you could hear the whispers and the nudges like, dude, I think this is like a thing.
Yeah.
This is actually out there. They honestly didn't think it was like out there on the internet.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they realized after like the big media, like all the montages of the celebrities and people talking about it, they're like, wait a minute, this is like a corner of the internet you didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
And then they're just at that point they're just sitting there, their eyes got glazed over and they're just staring at it for the rest of the movie. And by the time they were at the end, they had so many questions. And that's what I love.
Yeah.
I didn't care. Yeah, they took shots at us. Sure, took shots at Bob and Jared.
That's going to be anything.
Yeah, absolutely. The television commercial I shot, the campaign was literally called Foolproof.
Yeah.
Our app is so easy, even these fools can do it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's like, what fools? This flat earther. Right? And I got it. They were going to take that shot because you can't go the other way.
No.
You can't say, oh, by the way, the flat earth is completely legit, and so is our app.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
You can't do it that way.
Well, I think if you can't, regardless of your beliefs in anything, whether you think you're right, you're wrong, or whatever, if you can't laugh at yourself, it makes it that much easier for other people to do it.
Absolutely.
So I think, kudos to you for that. That's incredible.
And everybody that gets into it is the same thing. Everybody that everyone in our community, we all start out hating it. Everyone starts out in the cellar, in the basement of this thing. Seriously, everyone says, oh, this is the worst thing ever. And then you look at it more, and you get obsessed about it, and it's like, okay, I totally can. Eventually, you try to resolve it in your head, you try to crush it, and you can't completely.
Yeah, it's always there, just kind of.
Yeah, it's always there. It's like, what about this? What about this? And then one day, you all of a sudden wake up and you're like, You know what? What happened to me? I went the other way. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to put the questions out there and see what happens. See what happens. And here we are, 4 years, and it just keeps getting weirder.
I love it. That's awesome. I do have a question, if you don't mind.
By all means.
So I was talking to Nora about this, and she gave me an answer, which I was really happy with, that she took the time out to even talk to me.
Yeah.
But I figured I'd ask you the same one, and that is, set aside the science stuff, set aside whatever for a second.
Sure.
What do you think the purpose is? If this is all true, why do you think the government would want to hide it from us?
Got it.
Just out of curiosity.
No, I got you.
What do they gain? What do they not gain?
Gotcha.
So.
If you don't figure this out, well, the short answer, I gave an answer to the big science girl yesterday.
The big science girl?
Well, she was heavy.
Yeah.
She wasn't heavy into science. I mean, she was heavy into science. She was a chemistry girl, but she was also borderline diabetes. So I said, power and control, but she didn't like that answer. And I go, you know what? Okay, I'll make it even more basic. Fear. And that is, say, 1960. If you don't know for sure, let's say you have a map of this model, and people say, well, why 1960? I go, because you're the king of France in 1600, and you have a map of it, you can't prove it, you got wooden ships and horses, you're never going to be able to figure this thing out. So you have decent airplanes, you're not going to be able to figure out. 1960, pressurized cabins, we're good.
Sure.
If you figure this out in 1960, do you all of a sudden tell the world? Do you tell the population? And
so you're saying, just to clarify, you're saying that this would be something that the government themselves would find out?
Right. Yeah, the government, the United States Navy and the Soviet Union.
Because how would they know until the technology?
Exactly. The United States Navy looks and looks. They've got the maps, and in fact, in the 50s, I think they didn't even know for sure. They're like, we may be wrong. Then they find out in the late 50s. So about 1960, you figure it out. Do you tell the population? No. Here's why. The short reason is this. It's fear. And that is, people in power do not like giving up power.
No.
And you're talking about potential upheaval. 3 quick points would be academic, economic, and religious. Okay. Academically, astrophysics and astronomy, you have to shut those down forever. The remaining physical sciences, geology, hydrology, biology, archaeology. Doesn't really matter. Those have to be retooled from the ground up. That's every university everywhere, right? Sure. Economically, world markets. I mean, if President Trump got pneumonia tomorrow, it would affect world markets. For whatever reason. If this would severely affect world markets, you have to suspend trading for months just to figure out what the hell it means. I mean, what does it mean to world markets? But the big one, of course, is religion. And that is, you're giving the big 5 religious houses of the world, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, and Christianity, you're all giving them leverage against the institution of science, which has been doing their thing for 500 years. And you're saying, oh yeah, by the way, show restraint if you go after this, and they wouldn't. They wouldn't be able to do it.
Sure.
And it would be a very short X-Files smoking.
Communication.
Not now. How are you I thought you were out of money.
Well, money makes the world go round.
There you go. Good. Or flat. Okay, anyway. So real quick. So if that's the case, it's the shortest smoking man, X-Men smoking man eating in history, which is because somebody's going to say,
kiss my fucking ass.
Not yet. Not now.
Sean, you're on camera.
Sean, you're on camera.
I don't give a fuck.
And that is, do you, if you're going to tell them what could go wrong, it's like, that's the question. It's, what's the worst that could happen? And then I just rattle off those things. It's the shortest meeting ever. It's 10 minutes. 10 minutes to me, it's like, we're going to hold on to this for as long as we can. You can't hold on to it forever. It's like like hiding cigarettes from your roommate. Right? You can move it around here and there.
Hiding
eventually.
Your virginity.
Oh my God. You can't hide it forever. So eventually you're going to have to figure out a way to release it to the public. I think that's kind of the reason we've been allowed to do this. Not to put a conspiracy within a conspiracy, but I think that's where we kind of are, which is we are now, I mean, Google hasn't stopped us, YouTube hasn't really stopped us. They slowed us down a little bit, but for 3 years they were promoting us to no end. I mean, it was, I don't know what you were doing like 2 years ago, but 2 years ago, you look up anything on YouTube and Flat Earth was being recommended to them. And it's like tractor maintenance, here's 4 Flat Earth videos, potato salad, 5 Flat Earth videos. It didn't really matter. So I think we've gotten to the point now where it can be released. The infrastructure is there. If you're going to roll it out to the public, look what we got now. Social media, high-speed internet, 6 billion smartphones. Now it's ready. Now you can do it, and which is one of the reasons we've been allowed, been able to do what we have. We can out there really, really fast. But the reason, so that's the answer to why you would fight.
Sure.
The why is resonating. The short version for this, for them, not necessarily you, but you'll get it. You'll get it. The reason why it's resonating so much, why people are recognizing this, why we get to go around different cities, why the documentary did so well, is because we now, with the help of social media, have created an explanation for this that is actually easier than this.
Yeah.
And people, not to say that they're lazy. But they
Well,
are. They are. People are lazy. They like the easy answer. I mean, why do people text instead of call each other? It's because it's emotionally easier. And that is, this is now easier to explain than this.
Yeah.
And I put the question to science many times. I'm going, look, if you want to fight this, you're going to have to retool. You're going to have to, not necessarily dumb this down, but you will have to kind of dumb it down.
Yeah.
People, it's not that people are dumb. I'm not saying that people are dumb. I'm saying that people, especially in the United States, we absorb junk food media.
Yeah.
Which is, we memorize quarterback ratings and the cast members of the Game of Thrones and how many movies Tom Cruise has been in and all that stuff. But if you ask them who the 34th president of the United States is, they have no freaking idea. Not even a clue. They'd be like Reagan, if they were lucky, or Obama, who knows? Obama. So yeah, that's it. I mean, and to be honest, because I'm a kind of a different conspiracy guy. I believe in the greater good, and I put myself in their shoes.
Sure.
I would have hidden it too.
Yeah.
I would have. I'd be like, if I would like 1960s, like you tell everybody, no.
Yeah.
No, not
I also
even
think
close.
it's hard for people too. I mean, it's a little bit of cognitive dissonance, like having people grow up their whole lives knowing something, and then, for example, right, in December 2018, they finally declassified the Mkultra File.
Of course.
Which was something that, up until that point, was a conspiracy theory through and through.
Yes.
And everyone was like, oh, no, that couldn't possibly be true. And then, boom, some, decades later, it comes out from the government themselves. And everyone's like, oh, well, that was a long time ago.
Exactly.
So I wonder if this could be the same thing. Again, not agreeing, not disagreeing.
Why not?
But,
Why not?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting to think about.
Everything, like I even say with science, I go, everything in science is a fact until the day it's not. Until it's like, every creature that everyone has ever been condemned, like the giant panda was a myth. The giant anaconda was a myth. The giant squid, which we have still never found. We know they were there because we found the giant beaks in the bellies of the sperm whales. Which weren't caught by science, they were caught by the working class, the whalers. So, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, they're not myths anymore. It's like, come on, man. Science can be wrong. Neil deGrasse Tyson, one of my favorite quotes ever, he said that science is true whether or not you believe in it. And I said, no, it's only true until we show you something it's not, and then you reclassify it without any emotion. No, they never say, oh, well, screwed that one up. So and in fact, the science girl I was talking to yesterday, I said, she admitted, she goes, yeah, science can be wrong. I go, but not about this. She goes, no, that's a fact. And I go, but everything else is open to interpretation. She goes, no, it's open to experimentation. And I'm going, okay, even though we're doing experiments and doing all this stuff. So.
That's interesting. Well, hey, thanks for talking.
Pleasure, man.
Are you up to take a picture with me? Is that
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to make sure. I don't know. You probably get this 20 billion times a day.
No, I don't. The last person was a French girl.
Awesome, man.
Just a little while ago. Oh, sorry. Do it again.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much again for talking to me and
nice
everything.
To meet you.
I'm not sold, but I'm not
That's
sold.
That's all right. No.
I like talking about this stuff, and it's interesting to see. I mean, see you in the documentary and see how you interact and talk with people on that.
Right
and I meet you in real life. You're a really nice guy.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate that about you.
Thank you.
But whether this is true or not, I think it's good to talk about stuff.
Hey,
so.
as long as it's in your head, I'm happy.
Yeah. Hey.
All right.
Thanks so much,
All
man.
right. See you, man.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy.
Yeah. So, from the States, traveling around Europe. Saw the documentary some time ago. Had some questions and went well. Well, that was awesome.
Interested.
So.
And your friend is backwards and forwards. He's now latched onto you now, Mr. Drunken Friend.
Oh, where is he?
Don't even make eye contact.
Where is he? Is he behind me?
He's over there.
Oh God. He's been here all day. And the thing is, I don't know where are people giving him money for that cider?
Right.
Because he was out of money, and I mean he had like a few shekels in his pocket. But yeah, he keeps hitting that cider.
You were having a good sing-along with him before?
What?
You were having a sing-along with him before?
Oh yeah, Amazing Grace.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I was trying to teach him the words. He keeps getting stuck on so Amazing Grace, sweet the sound, saved a wretch like me. He kept missing the verse. I once was lost. He kept going straight to, but now I'm found. Yeah, it was driving me insane. So no, he's fine. I'm not worried. I'm more worried about what hotel I got to stay in tonight. Because I think from what Nora was saying, there's a hotel down there to the right, which might be easy. Where? Oh, I was going to ask you. Oh, we don't have to say this on air. Sorry, we'll talk about that later.
Mark, if you type in anywhere,
Flat Earth. Can it be possible? Meaning, you think it's this?
Yes.
This is what we've been taught our whole life. Been in school and taught. Could it not be this? Could it not be? Not probable, not... no,
well, yeah, if you think about it, like it could be flat Earth, like the whole theory of falling off the Earth in the first place was a stupid theory because the gravity keeps you on it anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, it's
no, I got you.
Gravity
No,
keeps
again.
you on anyway because everyone like the original theory years ago was that the Earth was flat. Remember?
Absolutely, absolutely. Ancient cosmology,
it.
and it changed.
And it changed.
The great line from Men in Black, and that is 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Yeah.
And then it changed, and then it made it a globe. And it's like, okay, why did it go to a globe instead of flat? And that's because science came in and built basically their own religion. And they said, look, we did geometry. The thing was, here's a great one. George Orwell's from here, right? He's like from the UK. Okay, I think somebody look that up. George Orwell, I think he's from the UK. So he said this wonderful quote, which was, if you ask anybody on the street, said this in 1946. If you ask, he wasn't a flat earther, and he was talking about science. He was the responsibility of science. He said, if you ask anybody on the street if they know the world is a globe, and they say, of course we know. It's a thing, we absolutely know. And it's like, and then he'd follow up with, yeah, but how do you know? And then they get mad. And remember, this was 1946. NASA wasn't even founded until 1958. How did everybody know, 12 years before NASA was even founded, the world was a globe? Nobody has a shot of the Earth from space. It wasn't because you knew, it's because you were told.
You were told.
In the United States, for example, underneath the American flag, which is in the corner of every classroom we have, we also have this. Okay. You put that in the classroom, what's the difference after 12 years? After 12 years, the flag is like, oh yeah, join the army, join the military, fight for the flag. What's the difference? This is right below it. It's like, yeah, this is our home, willing to fight for this. And a lot of people, they get, it's this visceral reaction where it's like, no, it's not this. Because it's the only, and we won't talk about other conspiracies, but I generally don't, but it's the only conspiracy, one, that we debunk to children, and it's the only conspiracy you can't really hide from. Yeah. If you start looking from it. It's like, you don't want to look at JFK or 9/11 or all that other stuff. You don't have to. It's like, fine, secrets can be buried in the desert. But comes this. I mean, I've had people call me up and say, how dare you tell me the world isn't what I think it is. I'm not saying it. Look, you want to hold on to it, great. I'm just saying that this makes a lot more sense. Yeah. And, on the religious side, it's like people say, well, because half of our members are hardcore Christians. And they say, well, you're saying that God's lazy, because God could make a whole universe. I'm going, I'm not saying God's lazy. I'm saying God's more efficient.
How you doing?
So,
Joey from the Bronx.
What's your name?
Mark.
Mark what? How do I find you online? How do I find you online? Yeah, you have some kind of thing on YouTube or anything? No?
I do. Absolutely, I do. I know we're not supposed to hand stuff out, but I'll do this on the slide. We're not supposed to hand stuff out, right? Oh, yeah. Give it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And he did anyway.
I did, yeah.
No, yeah. I'm online, and just check out my YouTube channel. And there's a documentary out there called Behind the Curve, which
I'm into all that kind of stuff. Like, I know science will be a big thing for me. Like,
right on.
It's a hobby.
Cool.
It'll be a hobby outside of work.
Check it out. It is. Yeah. We're challenging science. We're not exactly. I'm saying, look, I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to persuade you. Yeah. I'm just saying, look, do your own research. Figure it out yourself.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
We're not even asking for money. Why are we doing this exactly?
And what you travel around doing this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm only on Belfast and Dublin and Cardiff. I'm only in for the little legs. You're on for quite a while. But yeah, it's going all through Europe. And last year was all UK, right? Right on, yeah. I'm happy to be here. This is wonderful. I've never been to the UK.
Temple bar this way, that way.
Oh, you're in the temple bar.
No, I'm in the...
the bar. There is an actual bar, like a temple back down here.
Like a historical thing?
First, you look left, and left. If you turn right, you turn left here. So you turn left.
Anyway. So.
I'll look it up. Thank you, Mark.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
There we go. Like, if you look at like the moon, right, and you look at the shadow that the moon.
Yeah, sure.
I think so. You put a shadow like out of the moon and that's disappear.
No. You can get something that's you can get a book. Put the shadow of that book onto the wall.
Let's go and have a little wander.
Trying to see if everyone's crazy. They got a ball there.
Not at all.
Shadow of the wall. It's hey.
Sorry, I'm not Mark Shadow.
They actually diverted to Alaska. And so the Alaska showed that it was much further out of, and they're saying it's actually further to go to Alaska than it is to go to Los Angeles. But when you look at it on the flat Earth map, where the representation, we don't know, I'm not saying it is a map because we don't know for sure, but the representation says if Taiwan's over here and Los Angeles over there, you actually fly over Alaska in a straight line. Now the image that the lady showed there showed a better one, but it actually shows that they flew over Alaska within a straight line. Now, apparently there are 16 other flights that do similar things where they go completely different, opposite directions, where on the image that we would say, it appears that you fly straight. Now, this image we could say, you've just made that to fit what it was, but you actually find that you have maps called the map of the Earth, and it's a similar thing. Now, I don't know, one of the first things that I saw was the UN map, the UN symbol. If you look at the UN symbol, that is it.
Okay.
It is actually that, and then so that was actually things. So these people who are doing have a map, that isn't a sphere, that looks like this image. And then when you find that the flights follow a similar path,
but they don't. You're specifically choosing specific flights that you feel
right. Well, if you
prove
go
your point.
Well, if you go from South America to Australia or some.
Can I just ask you to not film me, sir? Thank you. I just don't.
But if you go from South America to Australia, you end up going from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere and then back down to the southern hemisphere. If the Earth was a globe and that was an accurate representation.
Now I've seen a lot of these flat Earth maps, and I've seen them change. Because, like you said, there's a lot because we don't have an accurate representation of what the flat Earth would look like. But whenever I see these flight maps, I'll see like 2 or 3 flight maps on a flat Earth map that looks like A, and then I'll see 2 or 3 more on a flat Earth map that looks like B. And then I'll see 2 or 3 more on a flat Earth map that looks like C. And they all make sense on their own map. But if you put, the flight paths from map A onto map B, they no longer make sense. If you put the flight maps from map B onto map A, they don't make sense.
I would be interested in seeing those maps. I don't know the ones you're referring to. I don't know those. But if I could go back to, you mentioned perspective, and I did think that was one of the important things that sort of made sense to me, was the perspective. When I look down this avenue, it appears as though the ground rises up. We know that it's parallel walls, and they appear to come in. So one of the things that I was told was when I go down to the seashore, that I can see the boat disappearing over the curve. And that made sense to me.
It's not over the curve, it's over the horizon line. The
curve
is far too large. That's just misinformation. That's pure misinformation.
Well, if it actually
you're taking misinformation about what people thought about the globe, and you're saying the globe isn't real because they used to think something that's not true.
But we have been told what the circumference of the Earth is, and so through finding out what the circumference of the Earth is, you can find out what the radius of it is. And if you have the radius of the Earth, you can work out the formula of how much the curvature should be. And that's to say, yes, I agree with you, over short distances, it's not going to appear very much. And apparently, now this is not our formula. We are going by a formula that has been worked out by people who believe in the spherical globular Earth. And so what they tell us is that it is 8 inches per mile squared, which means that after 1 mile, it dips 8 inches.
And I've actually seen a video of flat Earth people. I don't know what y'all want to be called.
Globalized. I don't know. What if you say to me, "Is the Earth flat?" I go, "I don't know." I tell you is what am I going to say? To the distances that I can observe, it appears to be flat, and that's all I'm going to say. It's observably flat to the distances that I can observe.
Now, I've seen a video of people who believe in the flat Earth who are attempting to prove the flat Earth, taking a laser
Yes.
to prove
It would
that
just
the
be in
Earth
the
is
behind
flat.
the curve. And the,
No. Not
Yeah.
disappearing behind the curve. What happens is they were trying to prove that it was flat by if you say you're on a relatively flat plane, okay? And you can say, okay, I'm this far above sea level, I'm at this point, and I'm going to use this laser to point directly straight forward. And then you go far enough away from that the curvature of the Earth would mean that you are an inch or two lower. Okay? And then you put up something to catch that laser light, which goes perfectly straight. Okay? Now this was a test done by flat Earth people to prove that the Earth is flat. And every single time they tried it, every way they did it, they adjusted it in 14 different ways. It went straight, and it was that inch or two higher that was predicted by the calculations of the Earth's curvature. They could not make it show a flat Earth. Every way they did it, it showed the curvature and the exact mathematical equation that people have for the curvature of the Earth.
I don't know the particular one, but I know there are other experiments that actually have found it, and I'm going to tell you some things, observations that I've done that I believe that I have seen it. But that particular one, now you said a couple of inches, it would be the couple of inches below. If it's only going to be a couple of inches below, it's obviously a very short distance, because the formula says at 1 mile it's going to be 8 inches below. At 2 miles it's going to be...
They extended the distance. They continued to extend the distance to try to prove it. Like I said, they tried it 14 different ways. They continued to extend the distance. They even moved it to an entirely different... There's, oh God, I forgot the name of the documentary.
Behind the Curve.
It exists.
No.
Well, if you've seen Behind the Curve, you've probably seen that part, haven't
the
you?
reason I'm going to say is because we have the star of Behind the Curve here.
Yeah, I saw.
No, but one of the things I can't go on what other people have made their videos, and one of the things I said, I saw the ships appearing to disappear out of my sight. And I was told that what they were doing was, you said they're disappearing over the horizon, and the horizon apparently we can only see 3, 4, 5 miles away.
Yeah, because
and
of
I say,
our eyeballs.
but
It's not the curvature of the Earth, it's our eyeballs. It's the limitation of our eyes. It's not the curvature of the Earth.
And I'd say,
Different species could just see farther or closer, depending on how much they can.
Exactly. Like if you take a camera and you take a zoom lens, you can see over that horizon line. But what you're
binoculars or a telescope, you can.
When you can't, but when your eyes can't see the ship anymore, that's not because of the curvature of the Earth. That's because of your eyeballs.
I'm glad we agree, although some people do believe that the reason you can't see it is because it is disappearing over
Some
the curve.
people believe in dragons.
Right, yes.
It doesn't matter what some people believe, I'm going by the general scientific consensus.
Well, and that's what I'm trying to tell you, what the formula is for the further away it goes, the more that it should dip below the horizon. At 10 miles away, it should be 66 feet below. So therefore, if you have a ship that is 50 feet high, and it gets 10 miles away, you should not be able to see any of that, because the 66 feet should be below it. But I personally know of a lighthouse that is near me that is 10 miles away. So I was able to do what you suggested, and I bought myself a camera. One of the things I was going to tell you was, sorry, I thought I'd student it. One of the things I was going to say was, there was a possibility that someone could have tried to manipulate or fake the video and show them zooming in.
Can I ask you a question? What would be the purpose
That's
of
exactly
faking
what
around
I was
Earth?
gonna say.
Like, what's the benefit of that?
Yeah. Why would anybody do that?
Like, why would somebody go?
And then why would they? And then why would they then put the flat Earth map as the UN symbol just to taunt you or something? Like, what's the point?
I mean,
like, what's the point of tricking people that the Earth is round? Like, I mean, why? What kind of conspiracy are they building? Why would they do that?
One of the things
And
that would have to be is,
have you ever looked up at the sky?
of course,
Okay.
and
Like,
it's a,
and have you do you see the moon, right? And
Yes.
have you ever had the pleasure to see like other planets like
Yes.
that were like visible at some point because it's like celestial movements?
with this camera that I bought, I have actually been able to
Okay,
take
so
images
why
off
would
them. Yes.
every other planet in the universe be round and only ours be flat?
Well, I don't know. The images are round. I mean, if I look at the moon, I can definitely tell you it's round.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you're aware. I'm not trying to say it's something to do with you. My friend in work, I told him that was he aware that the moon always shows the same face to us, and that we never see the moon rotating. We always see the same face of it. And he actually said to me that, yeah, I don't believe that's true. Take your fancy camera and go and do it. So that's what I took the pic to show that it does not rotate, and that what they'll tell us is that it's tidally locked. So I can agree with you and say, yes, I look at the moon, and on a full moon, it looks as though it's round. But that's the best I
but
can
it's
say.
a crescent or what do you call a half moon?
Just a half moon.
Yeah, like when it's a half moon or a crescent or like a bigger crescent, you can, if you actually take a very close look, you can see that the rest of it is there. It's just like black because like it hasn't absorbed enough light. Basically. But like it's not like part of the moon just like disappears, and then it grows back. It's just the part of it that's lit. Looks like a crescent.
Well,
or
I
looks
actually
like a
find
half
that
moon.
interesting, and I say, see with this zoom camera, the P900, you can't actually zoom in on the moon.
Yeah,
and I'm telling you, see the bit that is dark? You cannot see any of it. You cannot see it.
Like you just see that the rest of it is dark. It's not lit.
No.
But like the part that's lit looks like a crescent.
It's
or
a
half
light.
moon.
It's a light in the sky
Exactly,
that varies
but it's
over the
still,
month.
It's still around. It's still a sphere.
Well,
it's just that.
I would say it's round. I don't know if it's a sphere because I
How can it be round but not a sphere?
I would say back to.
that is round.
I would say back to what is.
Are you telling me that the moon is a disc?
No, what I'm saying is that's what it looks like to me.
Well, the Earth is a disc.
I thought it was a dome.
No. See, I've done my research on this. Apparently, and correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, the Earth is flat. The Earth is a disc, and there's a dome over it.
So the Earth is a
Is that correct? I'm not sure.
Well, what I'm saying, there are all different. What we're saying, we do not know. If you're asking me, is the Earth flat? I would say it's observably flat to the distance I can see. There different people would have different views. Some people would say, Mark will illustrate and he will show it like a snow globe. And yes, you would say, yes, that it has like a firmament. If you use the biblical language, it would say it has a firmament over it. So there are different people, and we don't all agree on everything. That's one of the interesting things.
That's what I was saying about like the flight patterns. And if you look at the flight pattern on one map and you look at the flight pattern on another map and you switch the patterns, you switch the flights, they don't make sense on the other maps. It's that nobody agrees. It's that there's no consensus
and that's
at all. There's not even a consensus apparently on if the Earth is flat or not. It's just that we've decided that it's not a globe.
Well, but that's all that we're only trying to get people to question what they've been told and say. Why would we ask it?
Why would anybody want us to believe that the Earth is a globe as opposed to a disc or whatever?
Well, one of the things you said was, is it a big conspiracy? We don't necessarily believe, not everyone that we have school teachers would tell you that the Earth is a globe or it is a sphere. We don't think they're in on some big conspiracy.
Yeah, so I was a teacher back in the United States.
And I said, but it's not making, sometimes, I mean, I'm trying to say.
Why would NASA make this?
And all of the pilots would have to be in on it. All of the people people who make the flight plans,
all the astronauts, all the space scientists,
everybody who works.
When you say all, that is a large group. Unfortunately, it isn't all, because Mark has actually interviewed a lot of pilots, and they're actually, I've heard an interview of a pilot who says that 7 of his friends, they would be globe skeptics, and they believe that the Earth is observably flat from their scene. So you can't say all the pilots.
But the thing is that you're going to get a certain percentage of every group of people that has differing views from the general view because of whatever reason. You're going to have people, you're going to have scientists who believe in creationism. You're going to have zoologists that believe in the jackalope. You know what I mean? Because even when you have these groups of people, what's the percentage? Is it a meaningful statistical percentage of pilots that would be globe skeptics, or is it a small group that you've found that are globe skeptics?
Well, we actually had an interest. We were in Belfast yesterday, and it was a very interesting discussion. We had a lot of people joined in, and there was one of the ladies there. What she said was, if you have a pilot that believes that the Earth is flat, he should be sacked. And that was her words, that she believed that he should be sacked. And so sometimes there's people that have jobs that if they expressed a view that is outside of the majority, they may end up losing their jobs. There has been teachers who've expressed views that isn't the mainstream science that have lost their job. So it would happen with pilots.
I went at one of the schools I worked at, the principal was fired because it turned out that she was refusing to hire men for preschool teacher positions because she felt that they would mess with the kids. She was fired because she had a viewpoint that was not okay. And she was discriminating against people, and that was not okay. Just because someone has a discriminatory view doesn't mean, all school principals aren't refusing
no one's saying
to hire
No, I agree.
as preschool
I
teachers.
agree with you there.
What the hell was she thinking?
I know. Unbelievable. I
No.
quit and I went to, even after she...
Sorry, is she married? Does she have kids? Would she
But
think that her husband's gonna molest her children?
But I'd say, rather than move on to that, I'm sure we could move on to a lot of different, deep and dark. I mean, one of the things we would say...
Oh, so a little wonder. I don't think she was listening. I'm not sure she was. I'd like to give out a few leaflets, so let's break the policies. Would you like a leaflet there? Would you like a leaflet?
Thank
There we
you.
go. Would you like a leaflet there? Okay. Would you like a leaflet there? There you go. Guys, want a leaflet there? You got one, have you? No problem. So we are still giving out leaflets. Yeah, just policies. I'm not buying into all of that.
Is that the same lady as yesterday? Oh.
Yeah, I thought I'd just give you a little sneak peek of what of who was talking then. Had some good conversations here at the moment. You all right?
Hey, pleasure to meet you, man.
You have my card, so
Yep.
any
Absolutely. I will absolutely pass it on to you. Pleasure to meet you too.
We're all
Thank you. That's right. Yeah, our mission. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll see where it goes. Trying not to form a cult. But if I don't make it on the cover of a magazine saying the most dangerous man to science ever, I'm going to be disappointed. That's why I'm putting out buzzwords. We have the children. You can't stop us.
He likes to watch me, you know why? I realize now there are
I mean, it was for me 3 years ago. Oh God, what a joke 3 years ago. But when you start trying to answer some of these questions, you'll find that it is difficult to answer. And then once you realise that there is a mathematical formula for the curvature drop to the earth,
Yeah.
you find that you shouldn't be seeing all of this land should be hidden beyond the curvature. Shouldn't be seeing all. I mean, Calais to Dover, for instance, you shouldn't be seeing the Wakeford to Dover, but you can. That's 273 miles away, and you can still see land. You go to Tenerife, and you can see all the islands in the distance. You're not meant to be seeing all this land. We're pointing this out, and so the only thing that I can depend on is these photographs from space that I supposedly. They're not photographs, they're composite images. It says so on NASA's website. You know, so if they're composite images, have I ever seen a photograph of Earth? I haven't. We think that we're just asking people to look into it ourselves. To not believe me, and you've looked into it a bit yourself, you say, but you have to do it again with an open mind and look into it a bit more. You know, because I think that's what prevented me from looking into this for 4.5 months, studying and trying to debunk this, and it was that cognitive dissonance.
Can I ask a question though?
You can.
I'm interested to see
That's
what the
okay.
answer is. So obviously, I believe the world is a circle.
And you should.
Yeah. But so what happens when you get like? How would you not fall off then?
Off the edge.
Yeah.
Well, have you been swimming in the sea?
Yes.
Did you fall off onto the beach?
No.
Oh, is it not the same? Water has to be contained. We all agree that. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I know, but
there's no edge to fall off.
Yeah, fair enough, not fall off, but you would reach the edge.
The edge.
Okay. So I was taught that we had this ever-expanding universe that was infinite and just went on forever and ever. There's no proof to that, but I believe that. Okay, and then I come across this, well, could land go on forever?
Yeah.
Now, I didn't realise that Antarctica, if that's all around us, okay, I didn't realise that there's an Antarctic treaty that prevents me from going there. I might be able to go on a holiday and see the inner edge, you know, like where the water meets maybe the ice and the shoreline and that, but I can't go beyond. In the Antarctic treaty, it says that you can't take animals with you, can't take, you know, for sledges and things, can't take fuel with you. So they have control over me, and I can't go any further to say to you guys, look, I've been to the edge, or is it infinite? I can't, say that. So I don't know.
That would imply that that's the only bit that keeps going. That's the one path.
It could be, but
then that would mean it's not even a flat circle. It would be.
It could either go on forever,
or here with us. Like it turns into a lollipop.
That's good. As long as you're thinking, that's all you need to be doing is thinking.
So it doesn't make any sense.
Well, at the moment, currently, but please look into it a bit further.
Yeah.
You know, that's all we're asking.
I'm just interested to see
on that yellow one there, I mean, like, you try and answer a few of them questions.
I don't doubt it'll be hard to answer them questions, but it's hard to answer them questions because
very hard.
I'm not a scientist.
No.
We're all, every one of
enough.
us, including, I'm assuming all you are average everyday people. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not a,
Some of us
you're not a
are,
physicist.
we do have pretty learned people involved in this as well. You know, it's just me. I'm not the learned one. So yeah, as long as you're looking into it, that's all that matters.
Cool.
Cheers, guys. Oh, got noisy here all of a sudden. They're cleaning the streets. They're trying to clean up all these leaflets that got dropped. I only seen one leaflet that got dropped, and so the council officials, when they come round, it was just more of a job's worth, you know, because there was only one leaflet on the road at the time. Are you warm? Are you cold? I'm cold. I thought you looked cold.
Yeah.
You know, we won't stay too long. And ferry tonight, and then Cardiff tomorrow. Looking forward?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Yeah, it won't be too long. It's her own fault she's got the most stupidest shoes. But apparently they're really comfy. I'll let you have it. Can I show them?
Yeah.
Go on, I'll show you them. Now, surprisingly, they're really comfy.
Closest thing to barefoot, and that's how we're meant to walk.
That's it. Yeah, there you go. Dave Mannell, you'll like them.
Yeah. So he's from South Africa. Yeah, he's questioning stuff. Did you see the kid from Venezuela? Is that not fun? So the Latin American kid that had the picture taken with me and his wife with the crib.
Yes.
He's from Venezuela.
Thank you. See you soon.
He hadn't seen the documentary yet. He had just followed the YouTube channels, and He recognized me. He said, "Oh, wait, I got to take a shot." He was just walking by. Said, "I can't resist. I got to have a shot." And so it was really, really cool. So I gave him a flash drive with the documentary on.
If I was walking by, I would need that in the background.
Yeah, but the globe. You believe the globe? You can't see picture.
Well, yeah, that's what stopped him. He was like, look, he again recognized some of the images. I mean, you're one of us. You absolutely. Right? It's like, yeah. He looks and it's like, oh wait, that's Mark. And it's like, there you go. So yeah, the image is on there. I mean, some of these are really iconic now. All the split shots and that. Yeah, so it's awesome. So it's really cool. So yeah, we've gotten, again, this is the tourist row. So we've got France, Venezuela, South Africa, America. I don't know, those are the people I've talked to. So it's been fun. Again, the numbers, the same sort of numbers. It's not a fluke. The same sort of people that we were seeing in Belfast, we're seeing here. We've got people everywhere. There's millions of us. But I have. It's been a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Activism can be fun. I know it can be loud, and
Clean up all our leaflets.
yeah, it can be loud. It can be intimidating, but at the same time, it's that way with anybody. But the people that come up to you generally have questions. Yes, there are some that are already defensive against it, but just keep it cool and hope that everything goes well. And
just the conversation.
That's all it is. And you've heard me say it a million times. It's just like, look, I'm not going to convince you right here. I'm not going to persuade you. Just think about it. Is it possible? This is why I carry this prop. It's like, is it possible? And most of the people will say, yeah, it's possible. And I go, well, there you go. That's how you start. Now, is it likely? And then it's like, well, it can't be likely. And then you have all the questions that follow that. But it gets them on there. I mean, it's reason, we keep moving forward. And why is this happening? Why are we allowed to, why do people not just walk by and why don't we get all sorts of insults all the time? Why do people stop and ask questions? I mean, how many people did we see here earlier just staring? They're reading, and you think they'd get all crinkly and be like, oh, get out of here. They're staring and they have questions.
And no one upset today.
No one upset today, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is.
Although there's a lady over there and she's sat maybe with the dog.
With the
dog.
The lady who owns that dog?
The
guy in the sweats. He's one of ours.
He's one of us.
Oh, but the
he's getting
the bigger girl is. She's not. Oh, because he's mistreating the dog. Because he's walking around. Dog seems pretty content.
No, it's not about the dog. She's challenging him over the globe.
No, I don't want to talk to her.
It's not, yeah, she's quite loud. It's not fair.
She's not our science girl with a different dress on, is it?
That was mentioned.
I
don't even know what.
It is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're not doing long today because we've all got this expensive parking tickets. So I need to get back very soon. Yeah, not too expensive. Just about. Oh God, what was it like? 73, 6, 12. Yeah, it was about £13 it was. I've got to pay today. Yeah, Ireland's expensive for parking and the tolls as well, but still worth coming. Yeah, the girl in the green dress, she's really having a go at him. And we've just set up a GoFundMe for Mark to have a Thai massage. The links will be in the chat soon from Karen.
Hi, what's the... Are you flattering?
It's all right.
But I want to do this because so many people like you.
I know, but it sounds very similar. I just don't want to walk back.
What is that?
What is this? Look at the website. All right.
Oh, I'm helping, but I'm not one fully yet.
No, of course.
But
it's
you know,
a difficult subject, isn't it?
yeah, he goes, well, I've got to go over and talk to a proper activist. And I said,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead, I'm not stopping you. I had to come over and save my dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to get into your mind and say how you like trust your senses and that. You know,
Yeah.
how come you don't trust your senses? Like, can you feel movement? No, because the atmosphere moves with the earth, she says. So I was just about to turn around and say, well, how does Coriolanus works then? And
there you
then
go.
I can't even get 4 words out before she.
So that should be enough to get her to think, but
No, that's it. I thought, oh God.
It was a one-sided conversation for a lot.
I mean, I could buzz with her. I said, look, I'm not here to win points. I'm just to have you to critically think, I suppose, in a way.
Yeah.
And
just
you
a
know.
conversation. That's all it is.
Jesus.
you looked exhausted.
I mean, Mav's like it's like the Sahara Desert right now, and I've got to go home with a drink and Jesus. But I best you wish you luck for the rest of the tour and
thank you.
Have a lot of patience you need.
Yeah, it's not all like that.
No, don't get me wrong. There is people that woke up pretty. I said, ain't that bad, you know. But
Yeah.
there is a lot that you think, "Jeez, got to start again."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They bring it back like to level 1 or level 2.
Yeah.
You just get them
No,
on
that's
board
right,
page
that's
and then build them up again, and you know.
Are you from Dublin yourself?
Originally in England, but my mum's Dublin.
Oh,
Yes,
right, okay.
family ties that help me down and whatnot.
Oh, it's a
You
shame
know,
that I can't stay
but
longer. I'm coming back.
I was over there last year or 2 years ago.
All right.
Yes.
Oh.
No, well, but you know, yeah, you might come back in a few years. I don't know, but let's see if they'll catch you.
What's dog's name again?
Marshall.
Marshall.
I think Marshall. Marshall.
All right. Okay.
I say Marshall or Marshall.
Right.
But Marshall or Marshall depends where you are.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in France, you can see the White Cliffs of Dover. How'd you see that then?
There you go.
Hey Marshall, was you in the White Cliffs of Dover? Oh,
Yeah.
should we say France? Was it Normandy? Is it beach?
And does he know where he is, or what he's not on?
Oh, that's the. I said to him half an hour ago. He's still telling me the same answer. That's pancakes.
Good that you get
Oh
stuck
no,
in
I have
there.
to.
Well
Yeah,
done.
no, you're not all crazy.
Oh, it's nice to meet you.
You too. Take care. Good luck for the tour.
I've seen there is. Oh God, the girl with the green dress. Oh, she's still here. Oh, she can't leave us alone. We must be so indoctrinated that she's got to save us.
Whatever it is.
It's all right. Nora will sort her out. As if she listens.
He knew me, by the way.
Did you know?
Yeah,
him?
but he again, because if you watch the clues,
There's
there's no video, and so it's like, oh yeah, Mark Sargent.
But anyway, like he done the research on Neptune's on its orbit, and it had like a weird orbit. Like basically, because its orbit had this strange thing in it, there must have been a bigger planet out there that was
Right,
pulling-
no, I know the
pulling-
story. No, I was a huge fan
So
of...
how, yeah, like...
No, I think that was a wonderful, it was one of the only NASA stories that they put out there which got traction. I still think it was fake. Look up, if you're looking up Nibiru, look up the IRAS satellite, IRAS, which supposedly put a blank spot in the middle of Google space. There was this blank spot, and then they said they uncovered it, and they said it was Nibiru, the binary star with its planets, and it was coming straight for us. And it's like, it was a good story. I loved it. I absolutely thought it was fantastic. But the problem is that 2012 happened, and now it's 2019, and we're like going, okay.
But you know what? Like, even if 2012 and 2013 came and it didn't... And
Dude,
it
it's
didn't
2020 really soon. How long are you going to wait?
No, it's not about that. It's like, it's more a thing of, for me, it's more a thing of like, it is, well, if you do believe it's there, it is there.
Oh yeah. If it was a solar system, absolutely. Trust me on this, I was absolutely on board.
But you also know that we only, like, our eyes can only perceive, like,
Very limited spectrum.
Yeah,
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
the light spectrum we can perceive is absolutely tiny.
Yeah.
It's really small. And you know, this planet system, this solar system might be consisting of a totally different light spectrum.
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe. I know.
But
Look.
then again, for that to exist, the Earth has to be round.
Spherical.
Spherical.
You're killing me. Spherical. Globe, ball, sphere. Round is your hubcap. Round is your dining room table.
Spherical.
Spherical.
But like,
It's all right. No, it lets me know you're not with us. No flat earther. Just so you know, kids. No flat earther actually uses the word round because of that. We always use sphere, ball, globe.
you know what I don't get about it, right? Is that like our solar system consists of what, 9 planets?
9
is it?
planets. Yeah.
Now, if all those other planets are disc-shaped,
No, not disc-shaped. They're just lights. I mean, they're probably not even. I mean, they might be holographic, might be 2-dimensional, but they're not spheres you can land on. How's that? So, if it makes you feel any better, they're 3-dimensional holograms from a technology that we don't know about, and just can't land on them. Similar to the moon. Why fake it?
Yeah.
Oh no! I'm saying that.
That's like saying what we're living on is like an experiment. Like it's like a little rat cage, and we're all being experimented on. You know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah, pretty much.
This is
Or
like
I
a
mean,
cage
of course. I mean, depending on how you're looking at it, you could be like, are we being experimented on, or are we being protected? You know, is God benevolent or is God cruel? I'd like to think he's nice. The running gag is: are we a box of kittens, or are we a box of scorpions?
Explain this, right?
Yeah.
When there's a solar flare,
Yeah.
there's been solar flares that have knocked out electricity.
Sure.
And all this.
Sure, the sun generates something. Sure.
Yeah.
The sun and the moon do
in,
something.
In order for the Earth to have magnetic fields that actually protect it, it needs to be round. Because a magnetic field on that model wouldn't work.
Unless it was artificial. And as far as the solar flare goes, if a light bulb explodes in your bedroom, do you feel it? Yeah. Does it mean the light bulb is 1,000 miles wide? No. Remember, even the sticks and shadows argument works with close. The sticks and shadows argument. Is the sun 93 million miles away and hundreds of thousands of miles wide? Or is it 3,000 miles away and only 50 miles wide? Shadows work the same way.
Yeah.
Even scientists say that. Again, it's all right. Don't think about it, man.
You have to think about it.
No. Go back to life. You're okay.
Yeah, but
after this, you going back to South Africa?
No, I live here now.
You live in Dublin?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
But like, you know, if you're not thinking about things like this and you're just letting it be, then like, you know, like when it comes to thinking of the meaning of life and where you're going and all this, then this is going to come into play because...
Beautiful! I love it. See that? You have to think about it.
You have to think about
Absolutely.
it.
So resolve it again. Don't listen to me. I'm just a crazy guy standing on the sidewalk, sober, mind you, in Dublin.
There's vodka in there, isn't there?
No, it's just McDonald's. It's McDonald's Sprite.
That is what I can smell.
Oh, whatever. It's McDonald's. There's a McDonald's literally 30 feet that way.
And there's 2 pubs over there.
And there's 2 pubs. Very nice. Very nice. I will be drinking later. I'm not a hypocrite. I do drink. No, I'm saying yes. So you do have to think about it, but don't listen to what I say. Do your own research. Ask questions. Figure it out for yourself. Because that's the only way you're going to get through this. I can hammer on you for a while.
I've watched quite a few videos on the flat earth thing.
Yeah.
And I've seen all these theories on the aeroplane, the routes the aeroplanes take, the shadows on the sticks, the
eclipses, everything, everything on this thing basically.
The ice wall around.
Game of Thrones.
Bird. What's the
Admiral Byrd?
Admiral Byrd.
I am aware of Admiral Byrd.
Now he flew quite far past there, and he said that there was thousands and thousands of acres of untouched land.
Yep.
And a lot of it was green, and there was lakes, and there was forests and all this, which means that there's not an ice wall around us. There's
No. I'm saying the ice is just the beginning of it. When I say ice wall, and I'm not trying to confuse people, I'm saying that the ice wall is just the Antarctic coastline.
Okay.
But no, it goes a long way inside, and if there's green forest and wonderful stuff on the inside, but when the water ends, there is basically just a big thing of ice for 100, 150 feet up. It's not as high as Game of Thrones.
But beyond that,
beyond that,
like
and I believe in it.
And,
Sure.
And you know it's mad. Like you can't get into a boat and travel there without being stopped or accosted by military. They stop you and say you are not allowed to go further.
For a disbeliever, he's saying a lot of. I know. You're giving me a lot of stuff. You're talking like a believer.
No, I said it to him earlier. I said you have to be able to entertain any idea without taking it seriously.
Very, very agree.
Because if you take everything seriously, then you're going to become one of these people that are stuck in certain beliefs, and you'll be closed-minded, and you just won't get anywhere.
Right.
You have to be able to entertain certain ideas without taking them seriously.
Yep.
But wouldn't that be wonderful if there was acres and acres of untouched land past that wall? That would be
Completely
lovely.
agree, man.
Yeah.
We gotta wrap up, don't we? Okay. So I gotta find my hotel. I gotta figure out where I'm going tonight.
Where are you staying?
I have no idea yet. I think
What's
there's a
the
hotel.
name of the hotel?
No, I have.
Right, let's have a chat.
I like this.
So what they're
Right,
saying
I'm,
is that so that you purchase in white.
Right, let me come away here a second so that you can hear me. I'll start wrapping up, guys. It always happens, look at that. I'm trying to wrap it up and there's loads of people here. Could stay here all night. But we've got lots to do. There's a ferry to catch. I'm not sure. I think Mark thinks he's going in a hotel. I don't think he I thought he was coming with me on the ferry. So I'll have to speak to Mark in a second. Yeah. Right, yeah, so thank you guys for joining me. This is Dublin. This is day 12. I'm going to say goodbye and thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget, we're running out of time now. If you want to get to the UK convention, it's on the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Come and meet a few of us. Come and meet a few other like-minded people. Yeah, I can't wait. It's coming up soon, really soon. Get over and get your tickets. It'd be fantastic to meet you guys. And after that, don't forget you've got the Amsterdam Convention. If someone can put the dates of that one in chat as well. I will be going to the Amsterdam Convention myself, and I think Roxanne will be going to that one as well. So it'd be good to see you there. If you can't make the UK one, get yourself over to. God, it's noisy. Get yourself over to the Amsterdam Convention. So thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you tomorrow in Cardiff hopefully for 1 o'clock. Cheers then. Bye.